Hello, everybody, and welcome to KingPastaDucksNStuff. I am your host this week and every week, Parker. And joining me today, we got Evan, Tyler, and Ian. How y'all doing?
I didn't grab a hat, so I'm gonna
You
use
couldn't-
it because my hat.
Couldn't find your hat fast
Wearing
enough.
hats again?
No, I don't have a hat anywhere. I do have a fedora over there, actually.
Did you know PS4 controllers do not taste good?
I didn't know that.
I believe it.
Yeah, we're here again, finally with a fitting border, a border that actually works and looks
I mean, it
clean.
worked before.
It did, but we had like little black lines. But what's
Yeah.
better?
Yeah, sure.
You know, I don't.
And you know my
There's black lines right here.
Yeah, there was. Ian, you weren't here, I don't think. If you look at the top, there's this little black bar right here.
Oh no, I know.
Yeah, so we're here.
I know.
Yeet.
So, how y'all doing?
I'm doing good.
How's your hammer hanging?
Low to the left.
Yeah.
I'm gonna just
Just
bring you down a bit so I can just
chill with your Litwick. I
have Litwick there.
don't have any Pokemon.
I got some posters. I'm quite happy with them. I put them all up.
I had
Well, I didn't get them.
I had Pokeballs for my birthday or Christmas, I mean, and I never opened them.
Why?
I don't know.
Not a Premier Ball?
Yeah, there's a Premier Ball, dude.
Yeah, dude.
That's actually my favorite Pokeball, to be honest.
Really?
Yeah, I always thought it was awesome.
I really like the look of Dusk Ball just because, like, the purpley stuff. that comes out.
I'm the one person that only uses Great Ball, Pokeball, and Ultra.
I used to only use Ultra Ball,
Yeah, I really only.
and now I only use Pokeballs. Because I don't like the look of the other balls. Unless it's Premier, then I'll use Premier. But yeah, anyways, we're here.
I use all of the balls.
We're here.
Pokeballs are our first topic.
We are a gaming podcast that talks about games, but sometimes we talk about other stuff because we're nerds and we don't care. Yeah, like today we'll talk about a variety of things.
It's called KingPastaDucksNStuff.
Yeah, tell your friends how much you hate us, and then they'll come and see like you're actually the best in the world. Obviously.
Exactly.
Anyways, we like to do a thing at the beginning of the show called Genre of the Week, where we talk about a genre of video game, what we like about it, what we don't. This week's genre, board games. We're going to talk about board games and party games, because our friends over here at KingPastaDucksNStuff got done playing a round of Mario Party 3.
Oh, an
Not me.
explicit.
Well, three of us.
Mario Party.
And let me tell you,
We also played Pokemon board game.
Pokemon. Oh, we did play a Pokemon
I think we're
board game.
keeping it to video games, right?
Yeah.
Video,
We can keep it.
virtual cards.
Yeah.
Oh, you meant virtual board
Yeah.
game?
Yeah, like virtual board games. Because Mario Party has like a board and there's turns.
I can
Oh,
fix that.
I thought we were doing everything under the board game
If
category.
you want, we can.
I mean.
Oh yeah, why not? I mean, why not?
Yeah, sure.
Sure. I'm gonna.
We're nerds, right?
Yeah. Evan, I want you to tell the folks at home about our experience with this game.
Oh, with Mario Party?
Yeah, with the event at the end.
This was greatness. So, just bought the game. You know, it took me a few minutes to get it running because N64 games are old, and you had to blow into them. So we get this all set up, right? Mario Party 3, about a 2-hour game. Pretty fun, pretty quality. I enjoyed my experience. Last turn 20. I land on this space, and it's called Chance Time. It does random events, and Tyler here was about
I
to
was
get
in last place, by the way.
3 stars. Yeah, he was about to come in back. He's coming into first last turn. And he gets really excited. He yells, he's like, yes! And he like pulls his controller back.
I didn't
and,
pull
uh,
it that far.
But you
Like,
pulled it
yeah,
enough.
It wasn't like that bad, but he was like, yes! And the cord like pulled the N64
I was
like
too far
half
away.
an
So the
inch,
cord was already
and the
played.
game froze.
Yep.
And
And we did not have saves turned
yeah,
on.
we found out later there was a save function, but we didn't have it on.
I figured it would have already been on, honestly.
Well, yeah.
You
it
would
wasn't
think
pre-
that, wouldn't you?
But I
And
didn't even know that
I'm
was
pretty
an
sure in
option.
almost every other one it's already turned on.
Yeah, they figured it out from too many people freezing it on turn 20.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was you know, besides the end, it was fun.
Yeah.
I like party games. They
I
suck by
enjoyed
yourself,
it.
but
A
with,
lot less cancer.
they're fun with 4 people or whatever the max number is. Because they're always so they're not meant to be by yourself, and they're not like hardcore either. They're friendly. And
Well, I don't know about
I don't know,
They're
anybody can just
almost
pick them up.
casual friendly.
Yeah,
Almost.
you can just cuck people over with the awful mechanics.
Every time.
But it's you don't have to. You can
okay,
pick it
I'm
up.
gonna be honest
which
though.
is nice.
This was like the one time that I very, very much enjoyed the game, even though I was in last. Normally I'm in last because I'm getting completely cucked by
Oh,
everybody.
yeah.
But this time I was in last. It was like, hey,
I think it's
I
because
didn't get 8 stars taken from me.
the
Although
game
I'm sure
is...
whoever I took those 3 stars from were gonna be salty.
Oh.
Parker, sure.
Oh, yeah. I get pretty salty when people take my
I
stars.
guarantee you, if Parker came up to lose those 3 stars, he would.
Oh, I would have been pretty salty. I'll be pretty salty.
Oh my god, I'm a AFK.
I almost did.
Who didn't have 3 stars? Didn't
Me.
everybody have 3 stars?
No, I didn't. I had 2.
You had 2. The rest of us had 3.
Exactly. If I wasn't there, I didn't have 3 stars.
Anyway.
You also didn't exist.
Okay, so
In general.
so what do you what do you would you say is your favorite? I'm gonna say Mario Party. If you have another board game that you like, go ahead and you can shout it out. But of the Mario parties.
Why don't we name some first?
Yeah, because we got Mario Party, obviously.
So Mario, that's a
Oh,
board.
Ian,
do you
what
have any,
what does
like-
Ian got? Ian's got something.
Why don't we do our a favorite board game
Hmm.
and then a favorite party
Virtual
game.
board game.
Board game is not video game.
Yeah.
Party game is video game.
Okay.
Well, can we talk about
just to
what
separate
is
it.
a party?
Okay,
game
yeah,
and what
yeah,
isn't?
party game.
I
Okay.
think,
Go ahead, knock yourself out.
I think any game that is like mini game style, it doesn't have to be called that, but there's like quick games. They're easy to pick up, and they're
So like,
usually kind of simple.
would the Wii bowling game be a party?
I would consider that a
You
sports
know what?
game.
Yeah,
You could call it a party game. 'cause
Let
it's
me-
pretty
I-
easy and simple.
Let me do something. Keep going.
Also, like ports of real board games, because there's like
Yeah.
things that have like Hasbro, Monopoly,
Yeah.
Wii.
Wait, haven't you
Yeah.
played Monopoly on the N64?
Is
No.
that a thing?
I
It
have
probably
it.
You
is.
have
I
it?
believe
We should
it.
do that sometime.
Someday.
No,
But yeah,
Death, Death to
I like
all.
you guys.
I might say Nintendo Land is my favorite.
Really?
I don't know if you guys have played that. Have we played that?
We haven't.
Yeah.
I
Alright.
don't think we
I
have.
haven't.
Nintendo
I
Land's a Wii U
I
game.
played it. It's not the greatest.
It's a Wii U game. It's not great. It's just really funny because it's I don't know. There's like 12 different mini games, and really only 2 of them I enjoy. There's this Mario one that's essentially tag.
Yeah, that one's fun.
Virtual
That one's
tag.
fun.
And then there's a Luigi's Mansion one where we all have flashlights and we have to find the one person, but they have the gamepad and only they can see
Oh, I
themselves.
played it. Yeah.
I don't like
we
that
did
one
play
too
that.
much. I like the Animal Crossing one.
That one also is like tag.
Yeah, I think tag is just
The
fun.
tag ones are good,
Tag's just fun.
just not in real life.
What do you mean?
I
Tag is so fun in
Oh,
real
you
life.
lose.
I always win because I'm too
I
fast.
don't like 9 and 10. I don't like that thing where you're all in the same car.
Yeah, that
The
sucks.
First 8, I like all those. Played all of them. And then real board game. My favorite real board game. Risk. Yeah, I want to say Risk, but
Risk
it might
is
be.
pretty fun.
Never played it.
Wait, let me turn around for a sec.
It
Go to my
takes a
board
really
game.
long time.
I've never played Risk. I played Sorry. Sorry's
I'm
fun.
gonna go with Risk.
Oh,
Yeah,
sorry,
I had to
it's
look at
fun.
all my board games.
I'm gonna have to.
Because, If for those of you who don't know what Risk is, you just kind of have armies and you each space is like
You
a
conquer
country
the
or a
world.
region. Yeah, and you conquer the world. It's fun. I don't know. It's
Who
like a
doesn't
good
like
mixture.
killing innocent soldiers and taking over the world?
It's just fun. I don't know. It's a good mixture of RNG and
Oh, yeah.
strategy. I'm done.
I'm
I've ranted.
torn.
It's not too much RNG.
I have 2
The
games,
rolling.
board games particularly, that I'm torn between, and they're so different. It's like there's Candyland, which is just always fun,
Oh, my God, I hate.
and the other one is Clue.
It's preset who wins.
I
Those are
love
Yeah, like you
Clue.
can't do anything in Candyland.
But Candyland
All
is so
you're doing
fun.
What is? I hate Candyland.
I love
colors.
Candyland is fun.
Yeah, if I'm like 5, that's cool. but
I'd still play
I
it.
don't wanna
But
play
the other
it.
one is Clue. Clue is fun.
Okay.
They made a
I
computer
really
game
like
for that.
Clue.
They made a computer Clue game, which is really fun.
Yeah, that would work better. I feel like.
Yeah, it's a lot easier. It's pretty fun.
My board, this is gonna
Mouse.
this is gonna kind of seem like a cop out, but I really do for actual board games. I really do enjoy Clue and Risk.
Yeah.
I'm
There's
not
nothing wrong with
sure-
that.
Yeah, no, you're
I'm
picking
not
good
sure-
games.
Agree with me
I'm
more.
not sure which
Love me
one
more.
I like more. They're both games that me and my family we would play together, and it's really enjoyable. If I had to say it, I would probably say Risk's a little bit more fun because I never stood a chance in Clue because my mom was like super hardcore at that shit.
The hardcore.
No, she
Clue
would
player.
write down like everything.
Yep.
Absolutely everything.
Me too. Me too.
And it was impossible to win against them because I didn't want to bother to do all that work.
I played the hard shit of Clue, man. I played with my grandma, and she could not stand me, dude. I would win every time, and no one plays with me now because they lose.
And for my party game, it's kind of like a mixture. It's kind of party game, kind of not. I absolutely love Wii Sports Resort.
Called it.
Like, honestly, it's a lot of fun having all the little shit that you can do in it.
I don't blame you, dude. Wii
Like
Sports is fun as
you
hell.
have like the boxing kind of thing where you're like, well, not boxing.
There's a
The
boxing
sword
one.
fighting.
Yeah.
The sword fighting though, that's a lot of
Oh,
fun.
you're thinking of Wii Sports Resort.
That's what I said.
I'm pretty sure that's what he said.
Oh, I thought you just said Wii Sports.
Well, Wii Sports is fun, too.
No, I'm not.
Oh,
I don't like Wii Sports that much.
okay.
But Wii Sports Resort literally has all of that plus a lot of fun things.
Yeah, I know it's got bowling. It's got like better bowling.
Yeah,
too.
it's got better bowling. You can fly around in a plane.
Oh god, Pilot Wings.
That's
My favorite.
a pretty good one.
Fights.
Yeah, there's so much fun to do on that. I
Yeah,
absolutely love that.
Pretty fun. How about you, Ian? We haven't heard too much of yours.
All right. Can we? I think.
Did you
for
look
my
up a list?
Can we count Uno?
I love...
Yeah.
What?
All right.
Oh wait,
Okay.
is that a card?
That's a
game?
card game.
All right. Okay.
It's
Then I'm
close
gonna.
enough. You can say Uno. You can say
I
Uno.
will-
No,
this is
no.
an
I'm...
acronym.
Oh, Connect 4? That's not a board game, though. It's in the
Yeah,
name.
Connect
It is
4
in the name,
is a
I
board.
feel like that counts as a board game.
That's a board
I
game.
disagree.
It doesn't,
Board
it
game
doesn't
than
have its
Uno.
own class. Like, there's a plastic tray
Yeah, what?
game.
That's a board game.
I disagree, but
Uno.
I don't think Uno's a board game at all.
No,
I think it's a
agree
party
with that,
game.
though.
I don't think it's a board game.
Both good games, Ian.
Oh, they're great games. Don't get me
party
wrong.
game.
And then I like. I mean, for party game, I like playing Mario Party. No, not Mario Party. Mario Kart.
Mario Kart's fun.
That's kind of a party game.
Yeah,
That's
we call
definitely
that
a
party
party
game.
game.
Sure.
That's a very
I mean-
loose party game.
Yeah.
I mean,
Borderline.
but like most of the time when you play Mario Kart, you're like, all right, so I got a bunch of my friends together, and we're not gonna become friends. We're gonna be worst enemies.
Yeah, no longer.
I get hit by 3 red shells in a row.
When
gonna-
I'm in first the whole game, no blue
I'm gonna get
shell,
hit by a
but
blue
Tyler
shell,
is.
then I'm gonna get hit by a red shell, then I'm gonna get hit by another red shell, then I'm
And a
gonna get hit by another red shell, then I'm gonna get hit by a bullet bill, then I'm gonna get hit by.
In first place, mind you.
No,
Getting
no.
hit by... I've gotten hit by
No,
pull-up
by
bills in
then
first
you're at,
place.
like,
That sucks.
10-ish.
You're getting hit in last.
Yeah.
No, you get hit into last.
Yeah.
I
No,
feel
somebody
like-
places a banana right in front of you, and so to accelerate, you have to hit it.
I feel like, I'm honestly surprised that Tyler likes any board games.
Really?
Why?
Because if he plays with us, we just spend the whole game doing whatever's possible to not let him win. Let's curse him for 30 turns.
That's why the games that I enjoy are games that I don't play with you guys.
I'd love to play Clue one
Let's
time.
kill his army.
I got a story.
Monopoly.
Let me tell you a
Yeah,
story.
I'm gonna
I got a story real
Noticed
quick.
Mario Party
Buy
wasn't
your
on my
property.
list.
Here's a story for you. I'm over at Dave and Buster's, and they got the Monopoly game. And I don't know about it. I get there and I'm like, man, you know, I kind of want to play some Monopoly. I don't know how they can make a whole game on this. So I start it. It starts normal, and you get about like 5 turns in. It's like, put some more coins into play. It's like, you know what?
Yeah.
I like this game. I do it, but you get
Yes.
one extra one extra cycle. You don't get to play the whole game. You put in the 5 tokens, and then after that, you don't have the option to put more tokens in. That's the end. You restart. It is so dumb. It is the
It's
worst.
stupid.
You get an extra turn if you get doubles,
I
but
think I watched you play it too. And I was
yeah, and it was the dumbest thing because I wanted to keep playing. But it's like, okay, you can have your second round, put some tokens. Okay, cool. I'll keep doing this until all the game's done. Second round goes over. It's like, okay, the game's over. I wanted to keep going.
Game over.
Yeah, it's like game. I want to
You
keep
lose.
going, man. But in real life, Monopoly's not the greatest.
That's the most pay-to-win thing I've ever heard.
And you don't even get
Or,
to.
I get it though.
Yeah,
It's
it's-
not even pay to win. You can't continue.
You can't
Arcade
continue. Is the
games are
thing.
supposed to get your tokens. That
Yeah.
still sucks.
Yeah, it's pretty dumb. Yeah, whatever.
All right.
Anyways,
You
yeah.
have anything else to say? About
Anything
party
else?
games?
I really enjoy party games, honestly. Just like I don't really know why, but something about them is just quite fun. Just the quick little mini games that are fun to
Yeah.
play and get good at.
Get
Because
good.
they're not serious.
Exactly.
It's a nice break from the
And
competitive.
it's not like a
I don't know,
4-minute game
man.
That you're getting dicked on the
We
whole
seem
time.
pretty competitive.
You guys by the way, are some of the loudest people ever.
Not
I'm
me.
excited over nothing.
Not me. It's Ethan. Ethan's out of his
To
freaking
To
mind.
be
Like,
fair,
roll
I
a
think.
stick.
To be fair,
And
I
then,
think I think it was reasonable for me to get excited over
Oh
the
well,
three
the
stars.
last thing, yeah.
They were just stupid things.
Oh yeah, let's go.
Oh come on, let's be
Yes.
honest. When you rolled a 666,
That was
Yeah,
okay. That was
yeah,
also worth
yeah,
it.
I got a triple die and got 666. That was pretty
You know,
cool.
because it was 6. It's like okay, 6. I was like Evan. You realize
And
what
I
happens
know
if you
it's
do
up
this
at 2,
again?
And then the third one is
And I'm just like,
insane.
that was cool. Anyways, yeah, that's good. That's the game genre of the week. If you have game genres they might want to talk about, leave it in the comments on our YouTube, and we'll probably talk about it.
definitely.
Moving on.
At some point, we're gonna run out of topics.
Moving
Yeah.
on.
Genres, not topics.
What do you guys think is a perfect game? A 10 out of 10. Maybe not perfect. Perfect would imply like it's great, but 10 out of 10. The flaws don't affect the game enough to make it not
Teacher.
great. Yeah, yes, son. The dude in the corner with the glasses. And the ugly. No. No.
He has glasses too.
Evan, lay it on us.
Damn, high key roasted.
Absolutely.
Okay, here's how I see it. I think a 10 out of 10 video game is as close to perfect as possible, and you can't really improve it without like just changing the game. That's kind of how I see it. What do you guys? Do you agree with that? Disagree? I got a thumbs up from Tyler.
I'm just umming right now. Tyler, take it.
Teacher.
Yes, go ahead, Tyler. I'm gonna sit over here doing some ums for a while.
So, this will surprise you.
Ian, are we taking
Wait.
But
I think.
bets? Are we taking bets, Ian?
I know 3. Actually,
Nice fart.
Shut up.
Okay, I've got 2. I got 2 of Tyler's. Can I answer Tyler's for him?
Blame.
Sure.
Oh, we were talking about this yesterday.
Mario Odyssey and Fallout.
What about Undertale?
Undertale's not perfect.
Those are Tyler's games.
I felt like
I
Tyler
will
would have said
guarantee
Undertale,
you
too.
that 3 of those that were listed were.
I knew it.
Of course.
Say it.
Yeah, I mean, I've talked about it on almost every stream. Odyssey is fantastic. I love it to death. If I was any good, though, I would actually try and speedrun it.
Mm-hmm.
But I suck
You
at.
did the no jump run.
No, I'm not done yet. But
Well, you're working on it. You
yeah,
got
I'm
pretty
pretty
far.
close.
That's impressive.
But yeah, Fallout. I've played probably over 500 hours on that, or somewhere around that. I absolutely loved it. I would spend like multiple days in a row with only sleep in between playing.
I remember
And
them. I didn't
Ian
talk
was
to
there.
Tyler.
Me and Ian were just in chat, not actually talking, just listening.
No, Tyler would be like, "All right, I'm gonna go play some Fallout," and I'm like, "I will remember."
Although Ian, I like your idea of guessing each other's 10 out of 10 games. I think we should. I have no idea what Ian would consider 10 out of 10 though, because like
Can I guess
you
mine?
guys
I-
would not be able to guess mine.
Wait, so Tyler, do you have any other games?
Yeah, any more?
And also, do you want to talk
I
about
honestly can't
Undertale?
think of any other.
he's
I
given
really
his
like-
fair share of his Mario Odyssey
Undertale-
experience.
Well, Undertale is hard, but the thing is I don't really think they could improve it too much without completely changing
So
it.
unique.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Odyssey. There's some things, but nothing like.
They have
crazy.
updated it like
Yeah.
twice too, so they could still fix things.
They actually just updated Odyssey like a day or 2 ago.
3 updates.
They updated a lot. They fixed almost every bug.
Mhm.
Every bug.
Mhm.
Everyone that was really known for the most part was fixed. But yeah, it's like I don't know. It's pretty good. And Fallout, other than you have to give Fallout a tad of slack for glitches because
Mhm.
yeah,
There's glitches in every game.
yeah, I mean, there's also a huge ass world. So for them to find every single spot that you can get stuck and soft locked in, that's gonna be hard.
Yeah.
I found plenty.
Mm.
I've played it a lot. But yeah, I really, it's pretty good in terms of gameplay and shit like that.
Okay, Ian. We're thinking There's got to be a Batman game in there somewhere, right?
I
Right?
feel Arkham City.
Possibly.
It has to be Arkham Asylum.
I don't know which one, but I can guarantee you there is
There's
one in
no
there.
doubt.
Oh wait,
What about
wait.
Plants vs Zombies?
You're saying
Plants vs. Zombies, of course!
Yeah.
That, oh.
I think Ian
Alright,
would
so you
consider
guys
that a
got-
10 out of 10.
1.5.
Okay, so we got the Plants vs.
I'm
Zombies.
assuming the Batman counts as half.
Hold on, what's
Yeah,
the
because you didn't guess the right Batman.
Darkest Night? I don't think that's a game.
That's not one.
Night.
Listen,
It's like a mixture.
I've played one Batman game, and that's Arkham Asylum.
That was funny as hell. Why don't-
And it
Ian, why don't you
sucked.
tell us?
Okay, Ian, obviously you got
Your 10 out
yeah,
of 10.
Plants vs.
Alright,
Zombies, obviously.
So I've got 4.
Oh,
Ooh, generous.
Alright, so you guys guessed Plants vs Zombies.
yes.
Yeah.
I like Batman Arkham City.
Okay.
So Arkham Asylum was close.
Yeah,
I
that's-
think that was a great one too.
Yeah.
But like Arkham City because I played that one before Arkham Asylum.
League of Legends.
No.
Any game they
Wind
update
Waker.
every week can't be perfect.
I know
Because
those.
they're always improving it.
Those
I
are
wrote-
both memes.
I'm surprised you guys didn't guess this one. Life is Strange.
Ah,
Oh,
that was an
shit.
easy
I didn't
one.
I
even
mean,
think
it's a
about
good
that.
game for sure.
If I thought about it, I would have said it.
No game has made me like almost cry like
Almost,
that.
you're a man. You don't
Nothing
cry.
makes you cry like that. Ian doesn't have emotions.
What are emotions?
Yeah,
He was
I said
brought to the
almost.
verge of almost not neutral.
Yeah,
He
like,
almost
that's
had
back
emotions
there.
that
Yeah,
weren't
listen.
anger, testosterone, and man. Those are the.
Brought to
And then-
almost not neutral.
And then technically it's like 3 games, but y'all get the idea. It's Pokemon Ruby, Sapphire, or Emerald.
That's
I-
one.
Yeah, that's fair.
I
Three
didn't
versions
like
of the
that.
same
I didn't
game.
know if you would have rated it 10 out of 10 though.
I'm shocked.
I like-
Yeah, why? What makes
I
it
like it a
10 out of 10?
lot. I played it through a few times.
Mhm.
That's fair.
I've also played through a
But
lot of mine.
my only issue with Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald,
Oh shit! No,
it needs more
Silver.
water.
Silver's another one of mine.
It needs more
10 out
water.
of 10. I thought we were talking about perfect, almost perfect games, not like just our favorites.
Yeah, we are talking about.
Silver, for me at least, I enjoyed pretty much every minute of it. Like for when it came out, at least I would rate it 10 out of 10. I mean, that's like saying, oh well, Mario 64, that can't be a 10 out of 10 game because the graphics are awful.
You're right.
Those
Okay,
graphics were
you
good
got
for
me.
the time, and all of that shit was good for the time.
You got me there.
This is our opinions. Like, obviously, like I don't think that Fallout 4 is a perfect game. My opinion. He has his opinion. I didn't particularly like Arkham City. Not my favorite, but it wasn't bad. But I wouldn't say 10 out of 10.
I don't really say these are all quality games.
They're quality games. Don't get me wrong, but we each have
I'm
our
gonna-
different
I'm gonna
opinions
give
on
any of
10.
these like a 1.
And it okay.
Maybe, like not quite as.
I mean, there's a reason why a few of us gave them a 10 out of 10.
Yeah,
Okay.
pretty much if somebody would give.
Also,
it
Ian, I need to correct you. It's not Plants vs Zombies. It's Plants vs Zombies Game of the Year edition.
I mean, no. There's Plants vs Zombies, and then there's Plants vs Zombies.
Yes. Which one are you talking about?
He's the hipster
Both?
dude. He doesn't like that new shit.
Why not both?
They're pretty much the same thing.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
gonna
I didn't
say.
notice the difference between Game of the Year.
There's not a lot of a difference. You
Is
can make
there?
you can make your own zombie. That's about it.
Oh, that's
Oh,
lame.
there's Zombie Avatar or whatever.
Yeah, that's kind of cool. Like, and then when the waves come, your zombies leading the charge. It's kind
That's
of cool.
kind of cool.
My turn, boys. I got 4.
Oh, we're
Ooh.
guessing.
Yeah.
Are we guessing?
Yeah, that's the goal. You guys gotta guess mine.
I'm gonna be honest. Pikmin
know.
2 is the only one I can.
That's
think of.
one.
Oh, he got us. Undertale. What is Parker like?
Mm.
Mid lane in League of Legends.
Absolutely no. I would never make League of Legends a 10 out of 10
Minecraft?
game.
Oh wait, no, you already rated Minecraft. I
Yeah.
know you didn't give it a 10.
Absolutely not.
Um,
This guy's gotta look around. Like, what does he like? If you want me to tell you, I'll
Hearthstone.
oh, that is like, I want to say it's a 9. I can't give it a 10. It's just too much wrong with it to give it a 10. I would give Hearthstone a 9 out of 10 though. On a good day, I'd give it a 10.
Pokemon Diamond and Pearl.
Diamond and Pearl also like a 9.
Okay.
Billy
I knew
Hatcher.
that. I knew that you liked them.
I love those games. Like they're close to 10s. Billy Hatcher, I never completed it. I'd give it like an 8. I love Billy Hatcher.
You
I'll give
never
you.
completed it?
I've completed it, but like back when I started playing it, never completed it.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna say like I've beaten it, and
I was, I was kind of
second
surprised.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'll give you the second one. The second one is Luigi's Mansion.
Oh, that is a good game.
That game is.
good.
I've
Shocked.
here's the thing. I've played that game at least 20 times through.
That game is really
Really?
good.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
agree.
20 times
Wow.
through, no doubt in my mind.
Played it
Not
late
a 10
in the
out of
week.
10 for me,
I don't
but
know.
definitely
Absolutely.
high.
And I got 2 more. One is a Nintendo game. The other is not a Nintendo game.
Well, that didn't really tell us anything.
Well, I gave you
You
one of
literally
them.
just said the 2 games could be anything.
Okay, I'll just tell you then. The second game.
Just tell us.
Okay, the third game. I played like over 20 hours. Like Kirby Air Ride. I've played the shit out of that game, dude. 10 out of 10. Easily a 10 out of 10 for me. The soundtrack is perfect. The game is great. The cars are great.
The only problem is you have to play with friends.
I don't have to play with friends. I could play that without you guys. No offense. Honestly, I could play without you guys.
guys,
like
not
playing
party game.
without friends.
And then the last one, I'm on the fence. Rainbow Six Siege. I'm on the fence of 10 on that one.
Because you haven't played it enough.
I've played a lot of it, and it's fun, and it's
just
so
wanna see
good.
it
The graphics are great. The characters are so unique. It's just that like there's time for it to mess up. There's time for them to do something that just kills it. So I can't give that a 10. The other three,
Like every league update.
yeah, the other 3 games, they're done. They're completed. I would give them 10 out of 10s. They can't change anything else. They re-released it. But
You
Rainbow
can't.
Six, I give it right now. I'll give it a 10 out of 10. But I can't promise it'll stay like that.
Yo, Kirby Air Ride remake.
I would love that, dude. Pikmin 2 revamp. Let's go.
Like, if you actually make it so that you can play online.
Yeah, that's insane.
If you could make it so that you can play Kirby Air Ride online.
That would be the best.
Yeah.
They have
you
something
could
like
actually
that.
have people to play with if you wanted. Whereas it's a lot harder on the GameCube.
Okay.
Or if it's just for a Switch game.
Haven't you ever plugged
Exactly,
in,
We
that's
all
what I
have
meant.
Switches. Yeah.
haven't you
What?
ever plugged in your Ethernet cable to your GameCube?
Yeah.
I mean,
Is that actually a thing? Does GameCube have internet?
No.
No.
Oh,
I
didn't
think
so.
PlayStation 2 did.
Yeah, probably.
That's
I know the
PlayStation.
Yeah,
You can't play Kirby Air Ride on
It was
PlayStation.
really shitty though.
Yeah, the Wii
Yeah,
was
no,
pretty
I'm
shitty.
I'm just giving an example.
I
of
guess.
what-
All right. I wanna think on Evan. I wanted to say, how many you got?
Ian, you can't guess. I told you these yesterday.
Shit.
Wait.
I wanted to
I
say,
remember one.
I wanted to say Mario 64, but you said no. But for you, is Mario 64 a 10 out of 10?
Would I?
Yes.
I'd give it like an 8.
An
or
8.
maybe a 9 even. It was a really good game.
I remember one of them.
I'm gonna say
I
Breath of
don't-
the Wild is one of them.
Nope.
Fire Emblem.
No, that's 12 games.
All
Actually, it's 14 because there's 2 remakes.
It's got to be a Pokemon in there, right?
No,
No.
no. I wasn't going off my bias. I was just like, these games are like just so good.
Minecraft.
Yeah, Minecraft. I said that.
Minecraft,
already.
I think you said that.
Yeah, he said that one last
That's what I
week.
said last week because we were talking about it.
That's the one I remember.
Shoot.
Let me cover up that poster with my head.
Oh yeah.
Okay, I'll uncover it.
I can't really see it.
Pac-Man.
Pac-Man.
Mega Man?
Pac-Man's fun as hell. No,
No.
no, it was that second poster.
Oh, the second one. I can't. Oh, you mean the one with all your stuff on it? Oh
Yeah.
Lord.
For those of you who don't know, that's a poster I drew. It's a bunch of
Even looking at it, I wouldn't.
a bunch of icons of games I like.
Not Breath of Wind Waker.
A book.
No,
Any Zelda game?
no. I think most of them are like 8s and 9s. I'm just gonna tell you.
Yeah, I'm out of idea.
I would also give. I already talked about Minecraft, but I'm gonna talk about Smash 4.
Oh.
That's a pretty 10 out of 10 game.
How could we forget?
It's very casual friendly, but it's also really competitive. I love the
Oh,
roster.
wait! I got one more. Tekken.
Well, I'm still talking.
Is Tekken on there?
Well, he wanted to guess
I mean,
before you-
Pokken Tournament.
Oh no.
Okay. Wait, you only got 2? You only got 2 out of 10
I'm
things.
not finished. Let me.
I wanted to get that in there before you accidentally rolled into it.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, okay. So, very casual friendly. Like anybody can jump in. You can kind of treat it like a party game, but it can also be really competitive one-on-one. The roster is great. I think there's all the essentials. You have all sorts of extra characters, which is cool.
I think they need more Mario characters.
I think if they make a sequel, they can only improve the roster. Like,
know,
there's nothing. I don't think there's anybody essential they left out. And what were you gonna say, Ian?
I think Smash needs more water.
The stages are nice. There's different stages. They're all kind of unique from
It would be
different.
kind of cool if there's a water stage.
There is one. There's a few.
Not entirely. Like I'm talking like this is water and shit.
They would have to make a whole nother mechanic
it
for
would
it.
have different mechanics.
That would be so hard.
Let's see. I think the mechanics are very honed. The graphics are about as perfect as I think they can get because like it's not realistic. It's got a cartoony style.
It's Marioistic.
It's very polished and shiny and it looks great. And it's just very honed. I don't know what they could really do to improve it. Like they can add more characters, more items, and make the graphics a little better. But I think I think it's about as perfect as it's gonna get, and can only really improve a little bit. I think it's really fun, really replayable, and I don't know. It just seems like no other fighting games hold up. Like they're all really like complex, super mechanics.
Rise combo.
You have to be a certain kind of person to play them, and they're always one-on-one. But this is like very.
It's not like
friendly.
Smash where you have to know exactly what the fuck to do.
Yeah. What? No, Smash is really like simple though.
No.
It's a good example of like easy to learn, hard to master.
You don't have to hit like down, up, down, left, right, left to get a combo
everyone
off.
has the.
But there's combos, and if you don't get it right, you're gonna lose.
All the characters have the same controls. Everyone has the same like 15 moves, even if they all do a different thing. So like you don't have to guess like what my combo is. You don't have to pause and look at like character combos.
Well, yeah. That's true.
And then I also want to add, there's probably other games I would give a 10 out of 10 to that I just haven't played. There's plenty of other games.
Well, yeah, obviously.
But of what I've played, that's those two for sure.
Kind of hard to rate games 10 out of 10 when you don't play them.
I'm just saying, I'm sure there's perfect games. Like I haven't played Odyssey yet. I may very Tyler.
Right. Well, there's that. There's that. Speaking of Tyler, why don't you tell us about your Loot Crate experience?
Loot Crate.
Because I want to know about it.
Oh.
Okay, so the other day I signed up for Loot Crate, and it was not the other day. It was like my uncle had it, and I found it kind of cool. The idea of hey, you get stuff in the mail for pretty cheap price. It's like $30. It's like $25 or $30 depending on like certain packages.
Yeah. Keep going.
But so what they do is they give you a box. The box is black, but the box can usually be changed to something, like put inside out.
Oh, you did that?
Yeah, the box is inside out right now, and it allows you to make stuff. So that's kind of cool. I'm honestly probably gonna get rid of the box just because it takes up a lot of space.
Really?
But it's cool. I mean,
but if you ever need storage, now you have a Sonic box.
It's kind of hard to open.
Okay, well, I was trying to be enthusiastic. It's still neat if
it's the loot. You didn't just get the loot box. You get stuff inside.
You get
like this shirt for it.
Oh,
Conkers. Ooh, that's a. Well, talk about 10 out of 10 games. That's a 6. It's like a 6.
Yeah, that's harsh.
No, I never said 7.
Loot Crate also they have themes. Oh, I found my coin. They have themes, and I believe this last month's theme was retro gaming. I can only assume that by what I got. I don't actually know for sure. But
did not tell you the theme?
It should tell you in the box.
I didn't see it, not from what I saw.
Oh.
That could have been my bad though.
Okay.
So I got plenty of things. Each month you get a gem, or not a gem, a
Chaos Emerald.
What's it called? Yeah, Chaos Emerald. No, you get a pin.
Ooh.
And they change for each month. I'm gonna be honest, this is kind of low quality, but I don't really care.
Still a cool Chaos Emerald.
Still nice. I'm not gonna use these, but I think they're actually really cool. It comes in a little box. They are retro Mario coasters.
Ooh.
Straight from Mario World.
Oh shoot, dude.
Super Mario
Dude, that's
World.
awesome.
I think they look
Mario
really
Brothers.
cool. Like I
Oh,
absolutely
no,
love
that's from
the look
Mario
of
World.
Yeah, it's World. Dude, that's cool. You're making me want to get Loot Crate, dude. Loot Crate sponsor us.
It's honestly worth because
You not want those?
I want those, dude.
Just the shirt alone is really nice. They have sizes for people who aren't normal sizes. Like, I'm gonna be completely honest.
100%.
Yes, 100% honest.
120.
169%.
It's a tad bit harder to get shirts when you get bigger, especially shirts that you want. So
Yeah.
being able to get a cool shirt that fits is nice.
Mm-hmm.
I think they go up to 4X, which is quite large. That wasn't meant to be offensive.
No, you're good.
I meant in terms.
No,
of
you're right.
normal.
You're just saying like.
No, you're allowed to say you are.
A lot of sizes, which is nice.
Yeah, I mean, it would fit Ian. Do they have an extra small for Ian?
I believe they did.
I wear a
don't know how
large.
small
But you wear a
they are.
large?
Yeah, Ian's too tall. He's
Ah, you know what? You're right. He is tall.
That's why his clothes are loose.
I
That's
got
right.
a figurine. I do believe they give a figurine every time. I'm not sure.
What's your
Like a pop figure? Or...
Eggman.
Oh, it's Eggman!
Eggman.
They don't give. I don't think they give you the pop figures, but they're quite a lot like
They're
it.
similar.
That's pretty cool.
Can you turn that? Oh, he's a little car. That's cute.
It's a little,
The only thing that I don't like about this is it comes apart. It's meant to, because it comes in a box. But it's really hard to get them to stay on the platform.
Oh, okay.
How much?
Shove 'em in.
How much one of those go for? Like a whole thing, the Loot Crate.
How much did you pay for the crate?
It depends on what you get. There's different themes. There's generic, so that usually has like superhero stuff and gaming stuff.
Okay.
There's the gaming, which I think might cost a little more. It's around $25 to $40 depending on what you get.
Okay.
Okay.
There's also an option for just clothing, which is pretty cool.
Okay.
Honestly, I was kind of tempted to get the clothing and the loot box.
Huh.
Because I figured I would get this because the knickknacks.
Yeah.
I don't have many
clothing's a little more
knickknacks in my
practical.
room, even though if you look around, there's like, but they're not as many as I would like.
Yeah.
The last thing that I got, I was a bit disappointed with this for a couple reasons, but it's bound. You're bound, especially when it's random. You're bound to get stuff that you don't necessarily like. I got a. I hope this is right for you guys. I got a
Earthworm Jim. I love them.
Metal lunchbox.
Hold it up a little. You're getting a bit of a reflection.
I love Earthworm Jim. That was a jam. There you go.
Okay, there you go.
Perfect. Earthworm Jim. I liked Earthworm Jim. It's a good game.
It's a pretty cool like design.
Yeah.
Although I'm never gonna use a lunchbox.
You could make a use out of it.
Past the margin.
I might just use it to put stuff in, like other nicknames.
You could you could let your fish play with it. Like get him a little
Storage,
cave.
Dude, you could store that inside your Sonic box.
Store your fish in there.
Yeah, when you get him in
You're
there.
right. You're right.
It's a mini fish tank.
So yeah, that's all that I got.
That's not bad. It's pretty good loot.
But yeah, that's worth.
That's
like,
quality.
yeah. I honestly really like these. I'm disappointed that they're coasters because I'm probably never gonna use them. Something about it's really satisfying.
Yeah, they are. I love the design. Yeah.
And the shirt. Oh, the shirts also. They're not like cheap ass shit.
Cheap ass shit.
Dude, they feel nice. Like I really like the feeling of this.
I
The
like
shoulder
it.
was a bit awkward when I first put it on, but after I washed it, it was fine.
So why don't you hit us with a 1 out of 10, and like what demographic would you recommend loot crates to?
Well, this is my first one, so this could be a bit inaccurate. But so far, I've quite liked it. Just being able to get random stuff for something that you kind of enjoy. Like, I have no idea anything about this game. I can't even remember the name of it, even though I've been told it like 9 times.
Conker's Bad
And
Fur Day.
we're like, Conker's Bad Fur Day. That's cool.
Such a cool shirt.
Yeah, everyone's like, that's a cool shirt.
It's a good game.
But honestly, wearing it, it's cool. Like, it's game related. It's not like, oh, I have on my skateboard shirt that I'm never gonna.
Yeah, nobody
Actually, no,
wears gaming shirts.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
thing is,
Gyarados, if you can't
I
see.
don't have any. So if you're lacking on clothing, on knickknacks.
Paddywhacks.
Oh,
Giving
oh,
dogs
I
bones.
forgot something else. There's a pamphlet that's a description. It usually folds out to do something, and that right there is mine. It folds out, and it made a Sonic
Oh, that's
a
cool.
Sonic world.
Oh, I
You
see
can't
it. No,
really
I
see
can
No,
kind of see it.
I
Yeah.
can see a little
It's kind
loop
of hard to
there.
see, but it's really detailed and nice looking.
It's pretty good.
So
Yeah,
that's pretty cool. Like
quality.
that's a poster. That's a T-shirt. A coaster, technically.
Coasters,
Um,
lunchbox.
Yeah, that's a lot.
That's
of
a
stuff,
pretty
and
good loot.
Yeah, you get
That's not bad for what you pay.
Yeah, right?
Yeah,
20,
Just
40
the
bucks.
element of surprise is there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the element surprise is also nice. Just
I
opening
like
it
it.
up.
It's pretty crisp.
I'm
Pretty
gonna
crisp.
be honest. When I first opened it, I was very disappointed because all I saw was this and the box for this because it like fit in it like
Yeah.
almost perfectly. There's just a ton of stuff in this though.
Oh,
I didn't actually know. I was like, I
This-
might
They
be
tipped you.
subscribing.
Unsubscribe.
But I really enjoy it. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I would give it a 8 out of 10.
8 out of 10 this week. That's pretty
What?
good. It changes each week, so this week's is 8 out of 10.
Exactly.
Who would you recommend it to?
Well, they have anybody who's into superheroes. If you buy the generic package, I'm pretty certain that that's filled with a ton of superhero stuff. You do get other random things, but it's mostly superheroes, honestly. There's the gaming pack, which is what I have. It has just a whole bunch of gaming stuff. So if you're into games, you're not likely gonna get something specifically for what you like, but you will get a lot of things. Like I don't ever expect to really necessarily get I don't know.
Anthros.
Yeah, I'm not expecting an Ampharos.
That'd be a dream come true, though.
Specific, yeah.
Yeah, but like, I might get something Pokemon related. I might get something Mario related, like this. So, yeah, and obviously they have stuff that's not common either. So it's not like, oh, well, you're only gonna get Mario, Zelda, and stuff like that. No, you're gonna get a wide variety. They have an anime pack. I have no idea what's in that.
Oh, Lord.
But the anime, that probably would be pretty cool.
Ugh, anime.
You're a mad otaku.
Manime.
I don't know what they give exactly.
Probably similar things, just anime themed.
Yeah.
One problem I see with the anime thing is that there's so many anime.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what.
Yeah.
Getting one that you actually know,
Well,
like...
but it seems like weebs have seen every anime.
That is so true, actually.
That's so
like,
true. It's so like, yeah, I've seen a couple, and then there's people like, I've seen everything.
Have you seen Guakakoku? Oh, yeah,
my
dude.
sister. Like, I've never seen my sister watch anime, but yet
She knows
every
all of
single
them.
one imaginable.
What's
It's
another
insane.
one? Oh, the last one is the clothing. That's pretty cool. They I believe they give you a mixture of hats, shirts, socks. I don't think they give you like sweatpants.
Do you get jackets?
No, definitely not.
No?
jackets. Okay.
I don't think so. I'd be kind of surprised.
I didn't know if you could get a hoodie or something.
That'd be cool.
That's still a good deal.
That might be an option, but I don't think it is.
Mhm.
It's really cool though. I enjoyed it, and I'm looking forward
Sponsor us,
to opening my
Luke.
next.
Sponsor us, Luke.
Hey, dude, if they want to sponsor us,
If they want to sponsor us, I will buy
Bumped up from an 8 to a 10.
8 to 10, baby. Anyways, yeah, so let's tell Luke late.
Would spend my money.
Whenever he gets over, he'll talk about it, what he got, and give his little
Loot
Yeah.
crate
opinion.
Yeah.
slash.
So stay excited.
Stay saucy. Ooh, whoa, what's this? Did I switch up the order? What are we doing here? We got consoles. Which one was that? Hey, there we go. Okay, next up.
He just inserted his
Yeah.
thing now.
So
Inserted.
consoles suck, in my opinion.
What sucks? Sorry.
Consoles. I want to talk.
Oh,
This was Ian's idea. We're talking
I
about
feel like you're
consoles.
talking to the wrong group of people.
Yeah,
I
because
have a
we all
pretty
have
decent
consoles.
opinion on it.
what was the
You're
last
gonna say
console?
PCs are better, right?
But what was the last console you guys got?
Hardware. I have a Switch, a PS4, and
I
an
feel like the
Xbox One.
Switch is something I could kind of ignore.
I think the last console I got was PS4.
Last console I got was a Wii.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Well, you're the odd one out. You have a 3DS. Oh, it's not console.
That's a portable.
That's a portable.
The last console was a Wii. Never played them. I just don't care.
I would consider the Switch a console.
I just stopped caring, dude. It's no point.
No,
for
that one.
me,
Was
for me, it
No, I
was.
know.
kind of funny for me actually. I got the Switch, the Wii U, Xbox 360, and PS3. Technically, I didn't buy the Xbox 360 or the PS3 though, so for that it would have been like the PS2. Maybe yeah, yeah.
Huh.
I mean I have both of them though.
Hmm.
That's pretty
So are we just gonna compare and contrast? Is that how you want to do this?
I just like. What do you got?
Consoles are a money grab. Like that's
I was
my short and simple answer to what a console is.
Why don't we?
It's a
What were you
huge.
gonna
Oh,
say?
I want to hear what Ian's got.
Because this was your idea.
Well, I was thinking, like, when I was writing the question down, that it was like, oh, we're gonna. I want to pick like one console generation and just compare each console. So I was gonna say like
Okay.
PS3, Xbox 360, Wii.
Okay, we can do that. We can do that.
Now,
Yeah, let's just do that.
modern consoles.
No, I kind of want. I only know about Nintendo because the only other system I had was 360. The 360 wasn't that great, in my
He's
opinion.
gonna be very educated.
I am the most educated man here in this entire group. I know about a lot of the Nintendo systems. That's about it. Okay. You know what? Here's an idea. Let's do generations. So obviously you got the oldies. You got the 360. You got the.
Take a while.
What do you got, Ian?
Can we say which one? No, we list all the consoles and then we say which console won each generation.
Okay, I can do
like
that.
idea.
Okay, go knock it out, Ian. Lay it on me.
Have fun,
Alright.
Ian.
So
He's got a list, probably. He's got a list.
Dan,
I don't have
you
a
have it
list.
pulled up, right?
no, I don't have a list.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay, I'm gonna slap one. Super Nintendo. What do you guys think?
Super Nintendo.
Versus the Genesis.
Yes.
I'm gonna assume.
No
Yes.
idea.
Genesis. Versus
Okay.
the Genesis.
I'm gonna
Well,
go
the Genesis had lots of good games, and definitely won graphically, but the Genesis was really built to compete with the NES and not the Super Nintendo. It just came out near the end of the NES's lifetime, so it ended up competing with the Super Nintendo, which is pretty impressive because it wasn't meant to. But
Yeah.
I think the Super Nintendo was definitely better hardware and
Hardcore.
just they were just more creative with their games.
Hardcore, dude.
In general, I mean, there were good Sega games, but in general, yeah.
Thinking back, I played a lot of Super Nintendo because technically speaking, like that was the only console we owned for the longest time. And that game was, or that console in general, had almost exclusively good games. Back in the day, I used to play this game that was like Tom and Jerry, and that stuff was fun. You play as Jerry, and you had to escape Tom in different levels. But I would always get stuck on the freaking casino level. I don't know what it was about those games, like on the Super Nintendo, but the casino levels sucked. Because we had a casino game too.
Kind of suck in a lot of games.
Because not in Sonic.
Yeah, usually.
Sonic has.
Well, they
good
look
casino
nice in
games.
Sonic, but they're kind of hard with all the bumpers.
There was a casino game that I could just never beat. It wasn't like a level. It was a whole game was a casino, and I just could not do it. My little 12-year-old brain, or however young I was, couldn't process gambling.
Dude,
Was there a
old
real life
games
casino
are-
that you couldn't win either?
You don't win casinos.
Dude, I win all.
Exactly, that's why I'm making fun of you.
But it just, I wish I could remember. What's the name of that game? It was stupid, but I played the crap out of the friggin' Super Nintendo. For my whole life, I thought it was called the N64. I thought the Super Nintendo was N64. So
N64
my whole life, I was like, yeah, I play the N64 all the time. And then like a couple years ago, I'm like, oh wait, we had a Super Nintendo. Oopsie daisies.
So do you have an N64?
We did.
Are you aware of what that is? Like it's 3D. It's what we were
Yes.
using earlier.
Yes.
Okay.
I had one of those.
I'm just being clear that you know now.
Yeah, I know now. But
Okay.
back in the day, I didn't. Go ahead, Ian.
Alright, I got a list pulled up now.
Okay. Now we can be more.
Alright,
You want to go backwards or forwards?
so wait. Do you guys want to start from Atari and then work our way up, or are we gonna start our way from?
Let's start a little more modern.
Wait. I think we should go backwards, and once we get to a point where we don't know what we're talking about, we should stop.
Okay, fair enough.
How does that sound?
That sounds good.
Yeah,
So-
it's probably good.
Because like I don't really know a lot about Atari.
So I don't think we should count 9th gen being the Switch only right now because obviously the Switch would win.
Oh,
I would
well,
say the Switch was kind of in the new generation.
No, because in like a year or two, there's gonna be a PS5 and
Are you
whatever-
saying that the Wii U is in the
Wii-
PS4?
Yeah,
Wii U.
because
Wii
it
U's
came
the-
out like a year
Holy
before.
shit.
Yeah.
All right.
So we
All
starting
right,
with
so
that.
there's we're gonna start with
Wii U, PS4.
Xbox One, and then Wii U.
oh.
Okay.
I'm gonna give it to Xbox One. I think.
I think the PS4. I don't know. I don't think the Wii U because the
Definitely
hardware
not
was
the
not
Wii U.
great, and while there were a few really good exclusive games, I think that's about all they had going for them. And a lot of those exclusives are now being ported to the Switch, or were also on the 3DS. And then I think the PS4 had a couple exclusives that I just personally like better than the Xbox One,
Yeah.
which makes me favorite. And I also like the way their internet is set up better, their online functions.
Right.
I think I don't know. PS4 has had a better start than the Xbox One, and then they have better exclusives. But the Xbox One has really turned it around recently, like more recently.
Hmm.
So like, I'd say more recently, Xbox One might be doing a little bit better, but I think I'd give it to the PS4 for like its exclusives.
Yeah, I kind of also agree with Ian on that one. The exclusives of the PS4, I feel at least, were quite nicer. I enjoyed those games more at least.
Like I'm playing Uncharted and I'm about to play Horizon Zero Dawn.
Yeah.
There's like
Oh yeah.
and then when you like say Xbox, you're like, well, I mean,
That's
it's got Halo
no.
5.
Monster Hunter World.
We didn't even
Yeah,
know
but that-
Halo 5
Yeah,
existed
but that's
a few
on
weeks
other
ago.
things.
Yeah, but
Yeah, but that's cross console.
I mean,
So, I think I just like PS4 because the exclusives.
yeah.
I don't really have much to add. I'm
Yeah,
gonna be
those
honest.
consoles.
I don't know
We
too
kinda covered
much.
Again, last console I bought was a
don't really
Wii.
know. Yeah, I don't.
Well, lucky for you, we're moving back a gen.
Woo,
Alright,
back a gen, let's
Wii,
go.
Now I can
PS3,
deal with this
360.
generation.
All right. So I think we all know about this one. This was from about 2005 to about 2012.
Ooh, my jams.
I'm gonna go with Xbox 360. I think the Wii was very creative and did a lot of great things. But it just felt like there was only like a couple good games, and then like the rest of them were all kind of underwhelming, and or just like really casual, and they just weren't for me.
Can I hear what the consoles are?
Oh,
Yes. There's PlayStation 3, the Xbox 360,
Okay.
and then the Nintendo Wii.
Okay.
It was
I'm gonna have to say 360 as well.
yeah.
I love the Wii to death. Don't get me wrong, and I had it way longer than I had the 360. But I'm just thinking. I think 360 just had better games
Very
overall.
good hardware.
Just better games.
I 100% with Parker on that one.
Yeah.
Although
Unfortunately,
gonna
as much as
dock
I
him
hate to
some
say it,
points.
because I'm a
I'm
hardcore
gonna
Wii.
dock him some like imaginary points because of that red ring.
Yeah.
Some of the earlier models.
But if we're just talking straight games that are on
well,
it.
the thing is though is that literally all three of those consoles had an issue like that, which
That's
is
true.
quite insane.
I just feel like they made fun of. It was more. It
It
felt
was
more
more
common with
known.
Xbox.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Wii had like the orange dot of death or something like that.
No, I
Never
think
heard
you're
it.
thinking of a certain point. It would be orange instead of green, and I don't know why. Because it would be the same as green. It would just be orange. But if
Well, no.
if you
The
unplugged it,
thing is though is that with a lot of the Wii's, they died once that happened. They just completely stopped working.
I found a
That's
lot of
what happened to
Wii's.
Ian's.
No, mine would like. I think it would take. No, it wouldn't even take discs. Mine just wouldn't even take discs in or out anymore.
Again, I've owned like 6 Wii's, so that shows how sturdy they are, right?
Yeah. Also the PS3. This actually happened. It would overheat. It
That's
didn't. It
true.
didn't
Yeah.
have like a specific death thing, but it was the same issue
Yeah.
to a point. You would have to either get it fixed, get a new one, or be a god like me and my dad and take it apart and fix it.
Ian, tell me, Tyler, you've had your little rant. I want to hear Ian.
What I haven't.
You're talking about, oh, I was a master at the 3 or the
Yeah,
Wii,
after the
or the 360. I took it apart.
Gotta
I
turn into a humble
saw these little parts going on. I figured out
I
that.
didn't end up saying what I left.
Okay, which one was your favorite?
You're cutting Tyler off.
Okay, no, Tyler, tell me then. What was your favorite? Well, he's over here being a brag master. Like, yeah, I probably could take apart them all.
I'm like Parker.
I'm kind of a big deal. I know. Compared to Parker, I'm kind of the best.
Compared to
you know?
Parker, I'm acting exactly like. Okay, so basically, it's really close toss up for me. I'm excluding the Xbox on this one because I don't really know anything about it. I didn't use it, but between the Wii and the PS3, I kind of think that the Wii wins only because of their unique, like the ideas that they came up with. Having the motion controls and shit, that was pretty changing in the gaming world. And you know that because every console tried to do it and all failed.
I do have to give them credit for that. Yeah, like that's you can't.
Yeah,
that was probably the most unique console.
And they literally
Ever.
all tried to
Or close
follow
to.
it,
I mean,
but it was ass.
The Connect.
that's kind of like.
The dildo
Yeah, like you
with a
notice-
ball on the end.
That's kind of the Wii's niche though, as being unique, or the Nintendo's thing as being unique.
Yeah.
That Joy-Cons still have motion controls to this day, but PS4 controllers and Xbox One are very minimal with that.
Yeah, they kind of just avoided that.
Yeah,
after
they
their
kinda
complete
stepped
fail
out.
with it.
I'll give Wii points for being creative, but I can't give them that many because again, that's the whole point of Nintendo is they're unique. That's why they're selling cardboard. They're unique. They do things people don't do, and while they get points for that, if their games are shit, I'm not gonna buy them.
Well, the Wii games were pretty good.
The Wii games were good. Don't get me wrong, but it's nothing that another console couldn't do better if they had the rights to it.
But what
Oh,
about the
yeah.
Wii U games?
I didn't play Wii U.
What Wii U games?
Exactly. What do you got? You got Smash Bros. That's also on 3DS. They're unique. Wow, look how portable it is. I don't even know where it's at. You lose it in 2 minutes because it's the size of your fist or something. I don't know.
What?
I don't know.
I lost you on that one.
I don't know. I lose the 3DS all the time. I don't know what the hell it is.
For me, I think that
I think it's a you thing.
Got big
I think
hands.
360 is like a clear winner here because I feel like they had better hardware than the PS3,
Yeah, that's definitely
and
true.
then the PS3 had like despite their online service being free, it kind of sucked.
It
That
kind
was
of
just a mad disrespect. Kind of
It's
sucks.
kind of just like
did.
the
They got
worst ever.
They got hacked all the time.
Oh, that is so damn accurate.
Mm.
Holy shit! I was trying to think of
Comparatively,
like, bad.
comparatively to Xbox, like Xbox didn't get hacked.
Well, it's because it's free. Xbox was you paid, so they had money to not get hacked.
Yeah, they could secure.
That's kind of how it works.
do
That's why
security.
Michigan's roads suck because they don't get paid for.
So
They
did
don't have
we.
toll roads.
You gotta pay the toll.
Or, well, I mean, we
Yeah.
do, I think, but not very many.
Just the fact that like 360 had better online and better hardware.
Oh yeah, it was definitely a lot better.
It made it like a little bit better than PS3.
I
Are
would
we
agree with that.
qualified to go one more gen back?
I'm qualified to go one more back. I don't know
I
what
would
you guys.
say
No,
one more gens back. We all played on like the GameCube.
Yeah.
and
No,
Okay,
played on
we're-
so
PS2.
We're at least qualified to go 3 more gens back.
Oh yeah, I'll say
okay.
it.
All right, so 6th gen is what this list has. Says Dreamcast, PlayStation 2, GameCube, and the Xbox.
GameCube.
I have no idea what Dreamcast is. I've honestly
It's what
never
made
even heard
Sega
of it.
die.
Yeah, the Dreamcast is terrible.
Yeah, it's bad. It's
My
bad.
dad used to have one. We don't have it anymore.
I want to look at. We don't have it.
GameCube.
Yeah.
Not a question is GameCube.
And any of the worthwhile games on Dreamcast actually just got ported to GameCube.
It's kind of hilarious.
I
Yeah.
would
Like,
argue.
like Sonic Adventure 2 is something Parker and I have talked about. We both have it for GameCube.
I want to see this.
But that, or no, I think Sonic Adventure 1 was the one that got ported.
Yes.
Yeah, which is less good.
Wow.
Wow.
Oh my.
The Mad Sega CD.
Wow.
This thing looks like a Sega and a PS1 smashed together,
Not good.
like with a hammer. Not like mushed together, like just full on, just bash them together.
I don't think it was the Xbox. They were still new, and I don't think they knew how to make what.
There was only one thing that the Xbox did right compared to all of those.
Oh, what?
They actually had online.
True.
Yeah,
Well, the PS2 did get online, but it wasn't.
Yeah, but you had to plug it in.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah, the
It is
Xbox was
online.
new. They weren't quite there yet. GameCube was pretty good. There was lots of good games on there. It did make it harder for third party because of the tiny discs. I don't know if you guys know about that. It was harder
Yeah.
to develop.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
games. They had smaller discs and they weren't standardized.
Hmm.
Fuck the Saturn.
Fuck the Saturn.
I'm gonna give it to the PS2.
Really?
Yeah, PS2 is great. The hardware is really good.
Huh.
Yeah, the
It
hardware
did crash
was
a
really
lot.
good.
There was that, when you like turn it on and there's like a 2-minute period where you just kind of be like, come on, this is the one. This is the one. It's
Yes.
gonna make
Oh, darn.
Yeah, or you get there and you're like, yes.
Finally.
Yeah, and I think the PS2 just had lots of great games.
I agree with all of Evan's points, but I feel personally that the GameCube did it just better. Like, they had tons of great games. The hardware is phenomenal. I have only ever crashed the GameCube once, and it was when I did a bug on a game that was so intensive on it that I couldn't take it. I literally still play my GameCube today. It has no issues running things. Lagging is never. I don't have any issues with lag, at least on the GameCube. It runs flawless. It's one of my favorites, honestly.
I don't know if you have a good GameCube or I have a bad one, but I crashed a good amount. Or maybe it's just how much I played it. Because I played, again, going back to Pikmin 2, I played that game a lot. It crashed like once a month for me. Like it would.
Well, how old's your GameCube?
That is a story I don't quite know. That's a hard one to say. It still runs.
I have a special edition, so that could be it.
That might be it.
I'm gonna go with Tyler. I have like a first generation GameCube, and I've never had a hardware issue.
I've had
The same one, I still have it. Whereas my N64, as we might know today, it takes a couple of rounds to turn on. Got a couple the classic.
It moves up an inch.
But have you not had the GameCube thing where like you'll be playing and it'll go beep?
Nope, never was.
And the screen just like it sticks at a spot. I do that all the time. It happens to me.
That's what happened when I overloaded my game.
Yeah,
but
it happens a lot on my
I've
GameCubes.
literally had my GameCube on once for a couple months straight.
That's fair.
Okay, I've never done that.
I've done that for. I had it on a year straight one
I
time.
played
I
Gale
don't
of
think I've ever
Darkness.
left a game on overnight.
I played
at least
Gale
not
of
on
Darkness,
purpose.
and I was in a fight, and I don't know what happened, but I just never went back to it. But I always kept the game on. I couldn't save and turn it off, so it was just in a fight, and I never went back to it.
That's fair.
I cannot believe you did that.
I've done
Yeah,
that.
I know. It was on for like a month.
How did your fan not break?
I don't know.
Console strong, man.
It was a good console.
Did Ian answer yet?
No, he didn't.
No.
Okay.
This one's hard because it's either between the PS2 and the GameCube.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're both really good.
They're
Yeah,
both so good. Like
on the same page.
I-
there.
I don't know how I can say which one's better because I think like PS2 like did things pretty well, but the GameCube like had some great games on it.
Mhm.
Might give it to the
Oh,
Super
but
Mario
PS2
Brothers.
Super Mario Brothers 2, baby. I don't know.
Was the
Really?
Shrek game on GameCube?
Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
there was a
Yes.
Shrek.
So was Shrek 2.
I really,
I had Shrek too.
I know it was on the PS2.
I
also.
really like. I think I'm gonna go with the GameCube.
Yeah, my man.
I didn't.
Classic.
I can't just say PS2. I think I would have liked PS2 better, but like, I owned a GameCube and I didn't own a PS2 or play it enough.
Considering
PS2.
considering 3 out of my 4 10 out of 10 games were on GameCube, I think you know my answer. All right, what's the next gen? Ian?
But before we move on, I want to point out
Or move back.
Jay Kaliza said he liked the PS2 for Kingdom Hearts.
Kingdom
along with-
Hearts was a pretty good game.
That was a big
With
one.
those games none of us play.
along with Guitar Hero and DVR.
Oh, true.
Well, the DDR.
DDR was on games.
Guitar Hero, I think, is a PlayStation exclusive. Or
Yes.
at least
Well,
at
at the time.
Oh,
that
wait.
point, I think.
I think they technically made one for the GameCube, but it
You're
was,
right,
like,
Donkey
not
Kong
good.
Jungle Beat. That was so fun.
That was so perfect. I we're all on board with it.
Playing that, like,
That's my jam, dude.
All right.
All right,
hell is
what's
your-
the other gen?
Switch my
Alright.
answer, dude. Donkey Kong Jungle
hey, I
Beat.
would also like to say, hey, Spectacular Wizard.
Hey, how you
He said,
doing?
hey
Hi.
guys.
Howdy.
It's nice of you to join us.
With-
Happy that you're here, joining us on this lovely Friday at 11:06 p.m.
We
Eastern.
always do this on Friday.
Yeah,
Alright.
why'd you have to think about what day it was?
I don't know, man. I forget. I'm tired.
Okay,
Alright.
what's next?
Ian.
All right, Ian, let's go back.
This one, we might start to get a little sketchy on.
What I said.
Okay, so last one.
So we got.
Got one more after this. I
No,
think.
I don't think it's the last one.
Hey, Spectacular Wizard. Thank you for following. Continue. Go
Oh,
on.
wait, he followed?
Yeah.
Oh, thanks, dude.
Yeah, that's why I said it. I know
That's
that.
so quick. I didn't even know.
Did you not were my words too fast?
Well, no, I just kind of thought that you were like making fun of me.
No, I was saying thank you for following.
I kind of went through this year, and then
Like,
came out this one,
and then it came
went
back
back,
around,
and it-
and it's like,
and then it went
oh,
back,
it all
and I
makes
went,
sense now.
"Oh."
Thank you. All right, what's the tell the Jen again,
Alright.
please? Let's get this
Alright.
rolling.
So this one is where it's gonna start to get a little tight.
All right.
So we got PlayStation 1, the Nintendo 64, and the Sega Saturn.
Ooh.
Okay, I've played all three of those.
I have all three. I
Yeah.
don't know if I'm qualified to say
I've played
anything
2
about
out of the 3.
Should I go first?
Yes.
All right. Saturn was not good.
It wasn't bad. It was
It-
just kind of meh.
That's where they started going downhill, in my opinion.
The
Um,
controller was odd. I don't know if that's unique or
Controller was
not,
odd.
but it was pretty odd.
No,
it had like
that's fair
6
to bring
buttons
up.
that you never used.
Yeah, it was. I don't think the
What,
color
that's
scheme
like
on
a
it was
64.
weird.
It's much worse in terms of buttons to not using
Go
ratio.
look at a picture of the controller on the Sega Saturn.
It's pretty bad. It's really bad.
It has like
Um,
6 buttons. Like instead of like the A B C, well,
D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, P.
instead of like
what?
A B X and Y, it was like
no.
A B C and then 1 2 3 as the buttons.
Yeah, which is I get because like a Genesis
Ugh.
controller had.
I don't know
but-
if you were there any games that used all of them.
No, I don't. Not that I know. Maybe probably fighting games.
Maybe.
Ugh, I hate
Because
those
arcade,
controllers.
a lot of arcade games have 6 buttons.
Yeah, sure.
Looking
You have
at
a
the
weak,
controller,
strong,
Makes me wanna
powerful,
puke.
3 punch, 3 kick.
looking
One
at
punch?
the controller, looks like A B C X Y Z.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
that
is
was
it?
it.
I think mine was A B C 1 2 3. I
It
could
is,
have
Easy
one
as
of
an
those
A.
unnecessary.
Why is
I wasn't a fan.
Brown disc.
What?
What?
They
The
didn't
controller
have
looks
this.
like a disc.
No, the controller looks like a disc.
It's true.
Mine didn't look like a disc.
I'm just gonna copy and paste it so you can see
Yeah, you guys took a gander.
the disc.
The so I wasn't too
That's
big
not
on
what
the,
mine looked like.
You weren't too big on the what?
on the Saturn. Yeah, my controller looks like that.
Or maybe what
The
was
PS
before the what was before the Sega Saturn? Maybe that's what I have.
We'll get to that.
We'll get to that in the next one, yeah. What do you got, Tyler? What are you gonna say about this?
Well, I don't know too much about the other ones except the Sega and the PS1. I know that the PS1 was pretty good for its time. It wasn't great. I don't. It's kind of hard for me to judge it because I've never actually played it during when it came out, like during its time.
Mhm.
Most of the games, the graphics are awful, but I mean, I think all games were that bad though.
Yeah.
Um,
Early 3D.
it looked kind of cool.
Looks could be deceiving.
My opinion's like degraded by now, but like I don't know. I personally, if I'm thinking about the right Sega, I like the Sega,
I think
but
you're
I
thinking
very
of the
well
Genesis.
that might be what I'm thinking of.
Was it in 3D?
No,
Then
the
you're thinking
controller
of the
looked like
Genesis.
this, kind of.
Yeah, you're thinking of the Genesis.
Okay, then. So
You-
then I would.
And Genesis only has 3 buttons.
Not mine. Mine
Really?
had 6.
Oh, you might have a special one then.
Do I have a hacked controller?
Maybe, or maybe mine's weird. Mine only has.
Yeah, it
3.
only has 3 buttons.
Oh,
Oh.
mine had 6. So
I don't know.
Oh,
I
well,
might
no,
have
some
had,
of them had 6.
I might have had the new
Yeah.
version.
See. Yeah.
The
you-
16-bit
I
had
see.
3. No, they both had it.
Okay.
It depends.
Okay, maybe I have a weird controller then.
Anyways, Ian, what do you got? What are you picking?
I'm gonna go with the 64, just because I haven't played PS1 at all.
Yeah.
And I don't know what games are on it.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree.
And then I had a lot more. Well, I can say I have a lot more fun on the N64, but that's because I haven't played any other.
Fair enough.
I liked Mario Party 2, and then I know Mario 64 is pretty good too.
Mhm.
What's next, Ian?
All right, so there's this.
What about me?
Didn't you already go? You said
No, I kept trying to.
Well, I didn't say it. Dang it! I thought
Yeah.
Genesis was alright. I hate it.
Well, the Saturn wasn't great. And the PS1 was a good system. It was kind of new, and they introduced a lot of Sony's franchises. But I think the N64 just did such a good job, not a good idea,
A good
of
idea.
bringing games into 3D. And I think they did a lot of the groundwork for just gaming in general. I think Mario 64 and Ocarina of Time just did too much, and I gotta give it to that because those are both N64.
I just like to confirm, yes, I did have a Genesis because mine couldn't take
Okay.
this.
Ah, gotcha.
But I do hate the N64 controller. It's not the worst thing in the world, but it's where did I put it?
It's pretty
Never mind.
bad.
I thought I had one right there. Yeah, it's just awkward with the 3
Yeah,
limbs.
that's a little weird.
Yeah.
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 So I'm gonna go with
Yeah.
N64 too. One more back? Do you think we're still
I
qualified?
think we can go 2 more back.
We might be
We
able
might
to
be able-
go.
Well, I mean,
I might
Call it one
actually have
more.
a
Even
better.
that
I
one
might
was
have a
pretty
better
sketchy.
this
view
one
on
is
the
where we
next
can.
generation
This
than
is
this
one
one.
where we can still actually compare them, and then for each
Okay.
generation back, it's just one console.
Gotcha.
Okay.
So this last one.
All right, I'll name the other consoles after we're done with this
All right.
one, too. So there's the Super Nintendo, and then there's the Genesis.
I mean, I already kind of talked about that.
Why?
I'm going
What-
Genesis.
Give us a quick recap.
The Genesis or the
No,
Super
of
Nintendo?
Evan.
Oh, me? I thought the Genesis had lots of good games in their own right. They were definitely a little better graphically. Or no, not than the SNES. But they
Well, I'll give you my take on the SNES because I played so much of that. I thought that they had really good games. The games that they did have though weren't very serious. They were more not arcadey but cartoony, like Kirby Superstar. I played a lot of that. That was fun. Donkey Kong Country Returns. That was a great game. I played the crap out of that. I never beat it. I have a pattern. I don't beat most of the games on the SNES except for Kirby. I beat Kirby.
That's me with.
There was a Scooby-Doo game. That was kind of fun. For some reason, Scooby-Doo games are weird. That was the only good one I ever played.
I just realized something.
What's that?
I beat my first Zelda game the other day. I beat Breath of the Wild.
Oh my gosh.
It's possible.
SNES is good. I prefer. My vote goes to SNES because I just think it's better.
I haven't played it. I'm gonna go with Sega, but that's purely because of that's what I played.
Okay.
I really enjoyed the hockey game. I think I might have actually mentioned it on one of the previous streams.
I think you did, yes.
The old little hockey game. Oh
Mhm.
yeah, I definitely mentioned it. That was a lot of fun to play with my dad. I enjoyed that a lot. That was the one and only Sonic game that I've ever played. Was on the Sega. Yeah, the Genesis. So I don't even know what either of the names of them were, but
Hockey.
Probably 1 and 2.
Hockey 1 and 2.
Oh, I
It-
thought you were talking about Sonic.
it was fun. Like I enjoyed it. I was never good enough to like win.
Evan, have you had time to think on it?
Yeah, I kind of lagged there is what happened.
Ah,
So I wasn't sure if you guys could hear me.
no,
I kinda just quiet.
continue. You were talking.
I would go with the. Okay, so I would go with the Super Nintendo, but the Genesis had good graphics for its time. It was built to compete with the NES, not the SNES. So just the fact that it did end up competing with it is pretty impressive. But I would just say overall, the Super Nintendo, I just enjoyed it more. It felt like they were way more creative with their games, and they did a lot more.
Right,
They're
right.
definitely great Genesis games.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Yeah. Also, Genesis had a lot of arcade ports that Nintendo didn't have, because Sega makes a lot more arcade games.
That is true, yes.
So some of those were better too.
Alright.
So that's about all I have to say.
Ian, you cast your vote.
Wait. One comment real quick. So Jake Liza said he owns all the NHL games too, and he says it's NHL 95.
Okay.
Lit.
9? Hey, thank you. Yeah, I didn't
I
tell you.
like
Thank
the
you,
fact that
anonymous viewer.
I like that Joey knew what I was talking about, even though I just said it was a hockey game.
Wait, who's
Who's Joey? I never heard of him.
Jake Liza.
Yeah, Jay Klizza.
Well, no,
Jake Liza.
Ian said Joey, so I figured, that
Yeah,
was
he said
the
Jake
nickname
Liza.
you're giving him.
Yeah.
I figured at some point.
We need to go by his profile name, or else he's not gonna know.
Sorry, man. I don't want to confuse anybody.
Yeah. What if there's another Jake, like another Joey Klein out there? Duh.
Just don't want. Yeah, I don't want to offend anybody. That we might.
Yeah. What if there's another Joey Klein and they think we're talking to them?
Definitely don't want to offend Jake Liza.
Yeah, no, we would never want to do
Come
that.
on.
Ian, what's your vote?
This one is pretty dicey. I'm gonna go
Three
with
vote.
the Genesis just because I respect the Super Nintendo. Just I think I've played the Genesis, so
I think.
Never played Genesis.
I've played
Genesis.
well. I've played the Genesis, and then I've played a Genesis.
Gemini.
We have been divided.
Our division will not separate us. All right, and if you're done with that, can you list off the rest of the other consoles that you had?
Yeah, just
So
Your fish went to
there's
sleep.
third gen, which is the Nintendo Entertainment System.
Mhm.
Then there's second, which is Atari 2600. And then this one I've never heard of before until today. There's the Magnavix Odyssey.
I have heard of that.
I'm pretty sure
Okay,
that's worth
yeah.
a shit
I-
ton of money.
Not played it though.
If you have one
Because
with the
it's-
box.
Like you said, it's expensive. All right,
Okay.
that's
And it's from 1972.
that's an
I'm
old
pretty
one.
sure that's like one of the things that are like really, really collectible if you have one with
Yeah.
the box.
Because it wasn't like common yet, so it'd be
Yeah.
strange. It'd be strange to randomly pick one up and keep it.
Yeah.
Like if we just pick some object now, like a mop, and for whatever reason, mops became.
We're
really
gonna
popular
upgrade
in
them.
20 years.
Upgrade.
And now they're collectibles,
Yeah, yeah.
360.
But now everybody has a console.
Mop
Sure.
720.
Yeah, so that's that. What do you got, Ian?
Wait, was this
That felt
pretty
like
much
an
just a
hour-long
Pong
topic.
machine or
Mop
something?
980.
What, Ian?
Was this pretty much just a Pong machine?
Yeah, it doesn't have like
Yeah.
any games.
Alright.
It's just worth a lot.
So yeah, those are our console opinions. It looks like we
That was
got.
a long topic.
Yeah, no, I'm fine with that. All right, moving
a
on.
lot of consoles.
Moving on. I want to
Yeah,
talk
sure.
about a game that I've been playing a lot of called Slay the Spire. Now, Slay the Spire is a Steam game. It's a card game. It's sort of a card game, but the cards aren't played in the generic sense where you play it and that effect will always, like, a monster will attack, yada yada. Your cards are your attacks. So, like, a basic thing will cost 1 mana for a basic strike, and you hit the enemy that is like 40 health, it does 9 damage, something like that.
Is
And
it
then-
kind of like Hearthstone?
No, not really. I would not call it Hearthstone. And then after you complete a battle, you, Evan, you getting a little close there?
What?
You're getting a little closer. Oh, after you complete a battle, you get an option of 3 cards, and you get to pick a card, or you can skip one, and you add that to your deck. And as you get farther into the game, you get different bosses you have to fight, and you get things called relics, which completely change the way the game goes. So, like, for instance, there is a relic called the shovel, which, I mean, it's pretty bad relic to give an explanation of, but you gotta... Evan, you're making this so difficult. I can't not... I keep looking over. It's like, closer, closer. So, it's fun. You go to campfires, you can either rest and heal a little bit, or upgrade your cards to make them do more damage.
How new is this game?
It is still in alpha?
Okay, so it's
It's still being updated.
It's not
And it's a PC game.
It is a PC game on Steam for like $15. It's really fun. You get relics that they're really cool. So an effect that there is poison. So when you put poison on someone, they take damage, and the amount of poison, like let's say you put 4 poison on them, end of their turn, they take 4 damage. Next turn, they take 3. Next turn, they take 2. Next turn, they take 1, etc. There's a relic that's like every time you apply poison, apply 2 additional poison. And then another one is whenever an enemy dies from poison, you transfer that poison to another enemy. So it'll constantly keep going.
That's a neat mechanic.
That is a very cool mechanic. There's only 2 classes right now. There's the Ironclad, which is like your melee burster, strength buildy guy. And then there's the Silent, which is like your assassin combo focus deck. And it's a fun game. I played the crap out of it. And it's cool. Not spoiler, but not spoiler. At the end of the game, when you beat the quote-unquote final boss, there's only 3 bosses right now. You beat him, you encounter another beast, which you deal damage to it equal to your score, and you get to see how much damage you've done to it, and then the total damage all players have done to it.
I've heard. Okay, I literally didn't know the game that you're talking about until that last second.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah.
Yeah, it's such a fun. I've been playing. It's hard as hell though, man.
I really do like that. I really do like that game. Like based off of just from what I've seen. But I was actually really tempted to get it.
It's such a good game.
The only thing that I don't like about it is that you don't have the option of continuing if you lose.
Yes.
Like, I get it. I get the whole point of, oh well, you lose, you start a new character.
And you get unlocks, so like you'll get new cards you can play.
Exactly. You get unlocks from it. It's just I hate losing and having to restart. I don't know how to put this without making it sound not the way I want it to sound, but like it's one of those things. Like I want the satisfaction of fighting the boss.
Yes.
Even if it's like you lose, you're a loser. You don't get any extra like points or anything.
Yeah.
I still want to finish, have the option to it.
So you hate that there's no checkpoints?
Well, I don't necessarily hate it, but
Well,
yeah,
you're not
checkpoints would be nice.
Yeah.
I would be completely okay with restarting, but I just wanna maybe have like an option like easy mode or something where you can like revive yourself. Be allowed.
There's a relic that revives you once, but that's about it. In fact, they've done the opposite of what you wanted, and they made a harder mode called Ascension mode. Once you beat it, it goes into Ascension 2, which makes it harder, which is like enemies are stronger, you get less. Yeah, and it just gets harder.
That's very old school difficult style with the
and I
like
love
having
it.
extra hard difficulties. That's very Dark Souls.
Yeah, it's very fun.
Otherwise though, I think the game actually looks really cool and promising.
They're planning on releasing a 3rd character. They haven't said what it is, but I think it's going to be a mage, since you got the melee, the ranger, and they don't have the wizard guy yet.
Yeah.
It might also be a tank.
Could be. Ironclad's already kind of a tank.
I saw a video of this. This is like the roguelike.
Yeah, roguelike.
Right? Yeah, I did. It looked really cool.
It's
I like the whole adventure deck kind of idea, but I wouldn't get it yet. But I'm excited to see what they add. Like if I see like 5 classes or something, and like the game's done.
Yeah,
I'm
if there was
okay,
more
now I'm gonna play
classes.
this.
I think they said they're sticking to
Balancing
3.
issues, and I think they need more classes.
I-
3
Well,
could
it is
work.
an
Yeah.
alpha too.
Yeah, it's still an
Yeah,
alpha.
that's what I'm saying.
So they got a
That's
lot
what
of time to go before they make a
They got
complete
time.
game.
For
I'm
how
excited
new the
to see
game
how they
is,
improve it.
like compared to other alpha games, honestly, I'd give it a pretty damn high rating.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
dude.
Parker, since you're the only one who played it, why don't you give us your rating?
Ooh man, okay. A rating right
For alpha,
Considering that it's
for
alpha.
alpha, and it's so promising.
For an alpha game.
I would like rank it up in like an 8 or 9. Like it's really really good. Like of course they got polish they gotta do, but and balancing is a huge problem, right? Not a huge problem, but a considerable problem because it just seems like you choose a deck archetype. So like let's say you're going to go for a poison deck, since that's the example I used. It's like you get an artifact that gives you a poison effect. But then, like, through the rest of it, it's like, I'm not getting any poison cards that really synergize. You kind of have to try to manipulate the game to try to get a different deck. And then you start getting the poison cards you wanted, but you already switched to a different deck type, so it's like, ugh. So, but that's not really a problem with balancing, that's just luck of the draw.
Yeah.
I feel like Ascension mode is way too hard. Like, some of the enemies, they're out of control, because they get more health, more attack. It gets a little out of control, but the game has so much promise, and I'm having a blast with it right now. I've probably clocked in like a good 4 hours into it for what it is. Like it's a crisp game. It's really good.
Yeah.
It's really crisp.
I
love the sign.
I
Real crisp.
resisted buying it only because I know that I'm gonna end up not playing it. It's
You have to be in the mood.
not because I'm not playing it because it's not good. It's because not being able to beat the boss for quite a while is just hard.
I also want to say
Hard mentally.
some of the bosses are really unique.
Oh yeah.
Like I think there's 3 or 4 different bosses per floor. And each of them, like, you have to completely adapt your playstyle. Like on the first floor, there's an enemy that switches modes when you deal a certain amount of damage. So it's like, oh, he was in attack mode, so he's dealing 24 damage, but you dealt 25 to him. Now he's in defense mode. If you hit him, he deals 3 to you every time.
Yeah.
But then on that same floor, you could run into a slime that once you get to half health, it splits with the same HP on both of them, and then again, and it's just like, now you're focusing on burst more than like trying to figure out how you want to play your attacks. And then the second floor, there's like completely different enemies that you would never be able to handle on the first floor if you had the same deck archetype. It's just, there's so much variety. There's so, if you don't like Hearthstone, I feel like it's better. You have much funner than Hearthstone if you don't like Hearthstone.
Yeah, it's different.
It's like
It's
a
not
weird
something to compare
mixture of like Dark Souls, Hearthstone, and there's something else.
A roguelike.
If roguelikes are fun, yeah. I'm a fan. It's like Binding of Isaac, except more card-based.
Yeah,
It's like a really hard RPG card game.
See, but here, it's like, that's the thing, Tyler. You like Binding of Isaac, right?
Oh yeah.
I feel like you would like
I
this game a lot.
I like the randomness of it.
I feel like you would like this game a lot.
The charm.
Once again, the only thing that I don't like about Binding of Isaac
Is
I
that you'll
suck
lose.
at it,
Well, that's-
I can never beat it.
I feel like the learning curve on Slay the Spire is much smaller. You learn a
Oh
lot
yeah,
faster.
definitely.
But yeah, overall, I would recommend it. It's on Steam for $15. It's not bad. It's a good game.
Probably not for long. The $15 at it.
For me, I mean, it's each their.
Usually alphas are cheaper than
Alpha.
the actual game.
Yeah.
All right, what do we got?
I don't know. What does Ian have anything to say?
Not related to Slay the Spire.
Oh no.
Alright,
He's
so
just-
no.
But cheese is
Because-
really
Let me tell you, ballerinas.
Because
Artistic.
we're getting a little bit closer to the end of the stream, we're gonna be doing a Q&A at the very end.
Oh,
Oh,
Like every week.
good
May-
call.
Yeah, like every week, but make sure you leave some questions.
Mhm.
because we'll answer them.
oh yeah.
Ask us anything.
I'm
Can
keeping
be
track. All
We'll
the-
answer most of them.
Yeah, we'll answer
As
most
long
of
as
them.
As they're appropriate.
appropriate. Yeah, we'll we prefer gaming related, but anything.
No, not gaming related. Ask me why I'm wearing a gray shirt today. I'll answer
Yeah,
that. I
like,
could care less.
Whatever.
Ask why I got a banana back there wearing a Jamaican hat or whatever. It's
Oh,
called.
I thought it was a Santa hat.
Oh, it's a Jamaican hat. It's like got the dreadlocks
I think
going
I
on.
said that before.
We've gone over this. I've brought him over here
Yeah.
so many times. Yeah, ask us
See
a question.
what posters I got that are new.
Yeah, okay. Anyways, moving on.
Okay.
Ask your questions and we'll answer them. Next up,
What is
I want to talk about. Last week we were talking about mobile games. How you guys aren't really a fan of them. What is a good mobile game like that is successful? Like that would make you want to play it. Like let's say it was free.
it? Ooh, ooh.
Yeah, knock it out. Knock it out. Let's go.
All right, so free is definitely a big thing for me.
Yes.
When there's so many free games, and I'm gonna give Tyler credit again because this is a really good point. There's a ton of free games. I don't want to pay for one because they're side by side, whether it's $1 or not. What makes it a good game to me? For me, apps are time killers. So just something quick, really simple, and I can just turn my brain off. But it's fun enough that I can kill time. I love playing Tetris on my phone. I love Tetris. Very simple. There's like 8 different free Tetrises you can download.
Probably
Just
more.
other puzzle games or like I have chess on there. That's simple for me. I know how to play chess. If you don't know how to play chess, that doesn't work.
Yeah, Tetris,
Or
chess.
checkers. Checkers is on there.
The checkers is
Most people
brain
don't.
Mine
dead.
easier.
Wait,
Yeah.
easier.
Still
So there you go. That's what I think. Just quick time killers
Yeah,
is what I like.
That's fair.
What do you guys are into?
I agree with Evans to a point.
Tyler never agrees with me.
A King Pasta Ducksnstuff first here, folks. You've heard it. An agreement.
I really like time killers and I enjoy puzzle games. Two of the puzzle games that I quite enjoy that I play more than I should probably is Loop. It's a game called Loop.
Oh yeah, Luke.
Loop's a lot of fun.
I still
just
play that.
You get like a grid of shapes that are somewhat circular, and you have to connect them all and have no like ends. They all have to make circles or some shape of that.
You could say they have to loop.
Yeah, exactly. And another one is shit. I can't remember the
I
name.
haven't heard of that one.
Pokemon Go?
To the polls?
No, well, Pokemon Go. Honestly, I would count that a completely different
Well,
game. But
Yeah, but it's not a puzzle
Yeah.
game.
Shit. What is it called? It's the game with the bombs and there's squares and it tells you how far away a bomb is or how many are
Oh,
next to you.
Minesweeper?
You're talking about the one
Minesweeper. Minesweeper.
Minesweeper.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the red cube.
Nah, Minesweeper, man.
The arrow in it, and you can watch videos.
Minesweeper's fun.
Minesweeper I enjoy a lot. It can be quite difficult as long as it's not RNG. Sometimes there is RNG.
Absolutely, yes.
But in terms of typical games that people think of, like they think of like, oh, this is something that you go on and you do something, not necessarily puzzles. I feel like puzzles are one of the things that people don't really view too highly. I don't know why. Puzzle games are kind of
like they're underrated.
yeah.
I think it's just because they're not always like flashy and
Yeah, that's true.
like I said, they're time killers.
Yeah. There's
what you're looking
only 2 games on other that are not puzzles that I've really enjoyed, and one's a time killer. The other one is Pokemon Go. Pokemon Go, I don't really know what to put in the category of. I just enjoy it.
It's its own game.
Yeah.
It's a council game.
I spent like an hour and a half talking about it in one of the other streams. If you want to
Yeah.
watch, go at it.
Yeah, it's on our
It was
YouTube.
last week's.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Last week.
Should be on YouTube.
So look
No,
up our
um,
6th stream.
We need an editing software.
We needed an editor. Can we purchase an editor?
We don't have the money.
No, you're right. I did.
Can we purchase an editor for free?
Yeah, who wants to do it for free? We'll I don't
And
know,
the
something.
other one was Clash of Clans. There were
Yeah.
problems with it, and I'll admit that.
Oh, for sure.
The idea of having this quick little thing that you can go on and have fun and upgrade your shit was really cool. I like that. It just ended up being too overdone, and eventually it took too long to do everything. So
Oh, they got a certain level.
yeah, it's not something I play anymore. If it was still as fun as like the early town halls, I would still play it.
Like when a single wall takes 4 hours or more.
Yeah, I kind of like, it's a little stupid, but I like the Farmville things where you go on and you come on a day later. As long as you don't have to come on more than like once a day, the game's good at it. But like early on in Farmville, you have like crops that take like 15 minutes to harvest, and if you take 30 minutes if you wait 30 minutes, they die. I don't like that. I want something where I can come on like once every hour. Or so.
That's fair. Fair thing to say.
Or not once every hour, once every day. Jeez.
Once a day.
Big difference. Big difference. Anybody else?
Ian's next.
Oh,
I
I
mean,
guess I went.
What I've said, pretty much what you guys have said is pretty much puzzle games, time killers. Those are like acceptable mobile games. I just can't get into mobile games. Like I was able to before. Because I've like, well, I mean, why would I play this mobile game when I can just play something on my computer and have
So,
way
just
five,
a
meaty
quick,
dog.
just a quick question, Ian. If you had never played Clash of Clans before and it just came out and all that, would you play it?
Yes,
No.
No? Even now?
I would.
I played it.
Wait.
Sorry. that was me.
I've gotten past that one point where I just played a lot of mobile games and now I just
Oh, okay, so that was like
I
a
don't enjoy them.
phase.
Yeah.
That was just like a phase.
Oh, I forgot about this one. I really like Game of War. You know, that one commercial with the Legend 27. I keep playing this.
Game of War commercials were on everything.
And I loved it.
But this one player keeps
Kicking my ass. The Legend 27? He kicked your ass too?
the
Whoa!
Legend
Unheard of.
Now, I meant to throw that in there at the beginning.
I didn't appreciate that meme because how commonly Game of War.
Oh
was.
my god, it was so annoying.
See,
I
don't
would have
really
appreciated
see
it
a
more
lot.
if I didn't watch a ton of YouTube, play a ton of games on the not computer, on your phone. Literally, you were just spammed with those like every 30 seconds, and it's just like,
Sure.
I'm not buying this game. I wish honestly that if I bought this game, it would stop giving me ads, but I'd still get it.
Oh,
So,
And then
I would have. I think one of the main reasons I played Clash of Clans was just when I had to get up really early for high school,
exactly.
and it was like my waking up thing. It's like I don't want to move, but
You
like
go on it once
I gotta
a day.
get up, and I do my 10-minute cycle right when I got up, and so like I would. By the time I was done, I was like, all right, I stared at this blue screen long enough. I'm awake now. Let me
And then-
move.
Actually, it's green.
What else?
But I didn't actually like it that much. So
What is Ian saying?
it was.
And then Jay Kleiza said Summoner's War is his favorite.
Oh my lord! Okay, can I go now? Oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to say I am the designated mobile app guy because I only play mobile apps. Holy shit!
Except all the ones that he doesn't.
Except all the ones that I don't. I've played Summoner War. That is like my favorite kind of game. That's why I play this game called. Where's it at? I have it on here somewhere. Alliance of the Spire. And it's pretty much like Summoner War, except like it's a lot faster because in Summoner War, basic just you unlock different characters and you can evolve them to be better and yada yada.
Oh, I have a game like this.
But
Yeah.
with Alliance of the, I think it's Alliance of the Spire. Hold on, I wanna make sure I get the name right because
This
it's a good
actually
game.
the game that I played was exactly like this. I
Mhm.
think Summoner War might have been a copy.
Summoner-
of one
I
of
think
the
Summoner
ones.
War was the original game. Honestly, I think.
Don't.
Alliance Heroes of the Spire. Yeah, Alliance Heroes of the Spire. That's a great game. It's the same, except they have an auto mode, which lets the battle happen without you being there. Like, you don't have to go into the battle, select auto, and it does it. You just say, I have 10 energy for this. Do all 10 of them for me. Thank you. And then it happens. And I love those kind of games. I love the adventure capitalist kind of game where you exponentially get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger.
Catalyst was fun.
I have a similar game, except it's with worms, and like you take the worm, it gets food. You use the food to buy a queen that makes worms that get more food. I love those exponential kind of games. Those are really, really, really fun. And then I love Geometry Dash kind of games. I'm addicted to those.
Geometry Dash.
I beat Geometry Dash. I beat the Impossible game. I've beaten Geometry Dash Frozen, Overload, Overheat. I've beaten all the Geometry Dashes. They're blast. I love them all. I wish they'd make more.
Brave Frontier. Brave Frontier is the game that I
Brave
played.
Frontier, huh? Brave. I think there's a lot of games like that. Oh yeah, that game.
It's practically the same thing. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it actually came out before it.
It's definitely possible. I think I played this game too. They're a little bit different.
Oh no, it came out like a year after. But I think it was like out on a different thing though. So this originally, what's it called? Summoner's War.
Summoner's War, yeah.
That was put on iOS, and Brave Frontier was put on Android first.
I'm addicted to these games, dude. I also got.
Yeah, those games are a lot of fun.
I also have a card game on here called Card Monsters.
That's a new one.
That's the new one I've been playing. I play that game at work every day. It's so much fun because the battles take like 3 minutes or less. So it's you play the battle and it's over. The next one you go. It's a lot of fun.
Did you beat the capitalist one or whatever it's called?
Which one?
Venture Capitalist?
Yeah, I beat that.
Adventure? Yeah, you beat it?
Yeah.
I was happy when I got to that where it's like you literally did everything you physically could.
Yeah, everything's golden and platinum.
Yeah, everything's golden. You can't buy any more upgrades.
That's always fun.
All of that stuff's just.
Ian looks dead. He's just like.
It's because Ian doesn't play any of the games. He can't relate to any of this.
All right. Well,
I mean, I know I've played Brave Frontier. I've played Venture Capitalist. And I didn't enjoy those. But like I said, I've passed that phase where I'm like, oh, mobile games.
I'm hard in that phase, man.
The only reason
He is out past me.
The only reason I stopped playing Brave Frontier was I got a new phone, and
Who dis?
even though I got even though I had my account saved, it didn't like save or something.
Yeah, that's why I stopped playing
I
Summoner's
had
War.
to restart, and it made me really sad because I had a ton of shit.
That's why I stopped playing Summoner's War, because for some reason my data wouldn't transfer, so I just started playing Alliance.
Yeah.
Alright. So, yeah, that's our take on mobile games. I'm gonna move us on because we're rolling up on the 2-hour mark.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Oh god.
Okay, we're gonna roll into our next
Extra
segment.
content.
Every week we do a little thing we call the Steam Games Game. I know this.
Oh,
Whoa!
Steve.
It's our little game show where
What was that, Tyler?
I picked 2 games from Steam.
It's not lotion.
Two games from Steam library that have come out recently, and I make 1 game up, and these 3 you gotta figure out. They gotta figure out which game
Only
Parker has made up. I'm gonna give them a brief description. Now, I'm not gonna tell them about it. I'm not gonna give them a brief description. I'm gonna give them a brief description. They are gonna ask questions. I'm not gonna answer. I will only read what is on here. Not necessarily.
questions that you're not gonna answer?
No, I will not necessarily be reading exactly what's on the Steam page. I will look at the game and give them a description of what I see. You boys ready?
After that one time, now it's
Yeah, I have to make it because every time.
Disclaimer.
Disclaimer. Parker. I don't even remember where the score is
Will
at.
Tyler continue?
I don't even remember where the score is at. Hold up. Oh, there it is. Okay. So currently the score is Evan at 3, Tyler at 1, and Ian at 3. You guys excited?
Out of what? I think you should say out of.
That's however many streams we've done. 7?
Out of
6 so
Six.
far.
6.
This
Okay.
is 7.
All right, boys. You ready? Here we go.
Statistically off the records.
Ready? Here we go.
It's not over.
Game 1. The King's Domain. Discover new things about your subjects and determine their worth. Game 2. King of Blades. Evolve an adventure, unlocking new weapons to destroy your enemies. Game 3. Play Cube. Play a Tetris-style game with your uncles as the Tetris pieces.
I'm going with number 2. I don't know why, but something about that seems off. I can't explain it, but
Okay.
something about it.
I'm gonna go with 3. That seemed a little too weird. Steam's got some weird games, but that was just like unnecessarily weird.
I'm gonna go with number 1, just because the king part seemed repetitive to me.
Okay.
All right, those are your votes. The answer was number 1. I made it
You
up.
got him.
Yeah, boys. Prince's Domain was made up. King of Blades was so generic looking. Like, you unlock new weapons and you upgrade and you get to beat them. And then Play Cube, you take like bikini wearing old people and you met their Tetris pieces. It's really weird. That's another
I
thing
kind
for
of
you.
knew that the third one was real.
It had to be
I
real,
don't
right?
know why. Something about it just felt real.
It seemed too weird to me.
Look it up on Steam.
No, I
don't know,
I know
man.
now.
He has
Oh,
some weird ass shit.
Guys, what do I just realized?
What?
What?
I have answered over 50% of the Steam games correctly.
You do. That's
Same for me.
you've gotten 4. You've gotten 4 correct, Ian. That's 4. Ian stole the lead. That was tied with
He
Evan.
did.
He's in the lead now 4. Evan at 3. Tyler at 1.
I'm no longer
Congratulations.
I'm really good at this. I
You-
should just like go with the opposite of my.
And I'm above 50%.
Be like,
You are.
Hmm.
Also, if you have a Steam game suggestion and you have some creative game names, leave them on our YouTube, and I might include them in the show. Who knows?
Ooh.
I
Yeah.
will be looking.
Yeah.
Don't-
Wait a minute. What?
He will.
Wait. Won't we see him though?
Maybe. Just don't look at the YouTube. I'll look at the comments.
Don't look. Okay, guys, you heard it here. None of us are looking at the comments.
You know, I could make a separate like chat or something. I don't know. We can figure something out. We'll figure something out. You guys can leave your own games here.
Personally message Parker.
Yeah, personally message my email. No, okay. We're gonna go on to Q&A now. If you got any questions,
It's gonna be showing
lodge
up
it in.
now.
Rolling across.
Alright.
All right, Ian.
I've got 6 right now.
Oh, that's like 4 more than we
Ooh,
usually
let's
have.
hear it.
Alright,
How many? Wait, before you do any, how many of them from Russ?
6.
Seriously? Or is
I
that a
have
joke?
4. Tyler has 2.
Okay, that's fine.
Ian had some pretty
I can
decent
live with that.
Okay.
Alright. So, the first one that I have for me is, what are some of Evan's 9 out of 10 games? Because he only had 2 10 out of 10s.
1 sec. I actually just sent a list to Ian the other day of all my favorite games. I bet a lot
Just get it. Because I asked the question, let's just get 2 or 3. Just
Well, I
because.
could. There's a lot of 9s.
I know, but like,
Let's just get 2 or
I don't
3.
want all of them.
Okay.
We don't want to. We don't want Q&A to take 4 years, Evan.
It did say some, not all.
All right. Well, let me think of some. Mario 64. The only reason I give it a 9 and not a 10 is because some of the mechanics just don't hold up. The like the platform is great. You know, it did a lot for gaming. Like it was a really good 3D platformer. It was kind of the first, one of the first, and it was very well done. But I just feel like a lot of the jumping mechanics are not great. They did a DS port, which kind of fixed it, but that was also kind of janky. So I don't know if they just like remade it with just better controls. I'd probably easily give it a 10. What else is a 9? I'd give Breath of the Wild a 9.
That's just
I
fair.
think it's a really good game. Just a couple little things I would switch, but there's enough, and they're a big enough deal that I don't quite give it a 10.
Switch to do.
Yeah, is that enough for you?
Yeah, that's enough.
think
What's
it's
next,
more.
Ian?
Ooh.
Weeboo.
Evans, no, not Evans. Parker spun.
What do you? What else? Okay, next question.
Alright. What are some real board games that Ian likes?
Yeah.
That was from Ian, by the way.
All right, Ian. What are some real board games you
All right,
like?
tell us some board games you like.
Ooh, I'm gonna go with Sorry. Sorry's pretty good.
Hey, sorry, that's a reasonable
Sorry
game.
about.
I don't know.
Boo.
Alright.
I was hoping that Parker would do that. Here,
Alright,
Parker, take
I-
this cone.
Boo.
Oh
I
wait,
also asked, does Parker like Slay the Spire because it's like Hearthstone?
A little bit. Just I like card games, like even if they're not card games.
Strategy card games?
Strategy card games are very, very fun to me. Yes.
So, what is something Tyler really wants to see in his next grade?
Be careful with this answer,
Oh no.
Tyler. Let's keep it PG-18.
well, I mean,
PG-18.
I wasn't gonna ask for like a stripper in my loot.
Well, now you did.
Something that I can reasonably expect that I would want out of the loot crate. I'm gonna be honest. The reason why I got the loot crate was because I wanted knickknacks and stuff and posters. I would really love a Mario themed, not Odyssey necessarily, but Mario themed loot box or something of that sort. because I have, looking around, I have 0 Mario. Like, this
Did you
this
wait?
is all my
I was
Mario.
gonna say, did you look down? You said
This is
Papa, there's a-
all of my Mario that I
not
have.
Papa, there's,
Here's a super sexy Mario.
what's the word?
I have no figurines.
Uh,
I have no posters.
Coasters.
I have no coasters. Actually, I do.
I have no toasters.
Would you like me to draw you a picture of Mario?
If you want, sure. I mean, I'll take it.
I don't know.
It's
a lot of work for a picture I'm gonna give to you.
Here's your friend.
Like I don't have anything Mario, and I like.
I'm
Mario.
surprised. Yeah.
I realized that today. Actually, I was putting up my posters. I'm like, I have stuff of everything I like, but not Mario.
Yeah, I don't have a lot of Mario either.
I don't have anything Mario. Well, I have like.
I think I probably
partial.
did.
Oh no, I have a picture of Ludwig.
I think I don't have anything Mario related only because at the time I felt like it was really way hyped, like overhyped Mario.
And then you play the game and you're like, it's underhyped. This game's great.
Well, no, I mean I've found more and more Mario games that I've liked, but like I've never been like really crazy about it at all. It's just been something I enjoyed.
All right, Ian, what else you got?
Next question.
Anyone see the fuzzy in Parker's screen?
Yeah, I did actually. I saw it on the camera. There was a little fuzzy that went by.
Yeah.
Oh, like a while ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I didn't see.
Yeah, there was a little fuzz.
Me, Ian and Parker saw it.
I saw it. I didn't say it. I was just like, maybe they didn't see
Well,
it.
I might have
like,
just not been looking.
Check it on YouTube at about like a half hour, or give or take
I
ago.
saw like no, not half an hour. I saw it go like this.
It's just. It just
like
left.
a bug?
No, it was just a fuzzy.
It was like a fuzzy.
Oh.
It just show up, man. I don't know.
All right.
Next question.
So this is our last one.
Ooh.
So who is Joey that Tyler's talking about?
I don't know.
Is that seriously?
Well,
that's the question.
I was referencing a friend of ours that his name is Joey.
His name's
although
Joey
I don't.
Kleiser.
Yeah, I
With
don't
a
know
Z.
why. I don't know why I thought that
Z?
Joey
Yeah, it's a pretty
Kleiser was
unreasonable
the same as Jay
function.
Kleiser.
Yeah, that's
That
ridiculous.
was completely unreasonable on my part, and I really.
Yeah, we don't even know it's a
apologize,
he.
Jay
It could be
Kleiser.
Jack.
Yeah, who knows?
Or
The
Kleiser
J
could
might not
be
even mean
his-
anything.
All right.
We don't even know
Kleiser
Kleiser's a
could be
name.
their middle name,
What's a
you
name?
know?
What is a name but a couple of
Kleiser
letters?
could just be a word they made up.
And maybe his last name is literally spelled out for you.
You know, this world's full of mysteries, and that's probably one of the biggest questions that you can come up with. Since we got some dumb, I mean, good questions. I'm gonna go in the wild cards. If they got a random question, we'll just answer it
Oh, yeah, I forgot
Alright.
about that.
because I still have
If
us.
you have any more questions, feel
Yeah,
free to
please ask questions. We're desperate.
Seriously, ask.
I want questions, man.
One day we'll have so many we can't even do them all.
What? No. Okay, you know what? Let's go with this one. Okay. If you had to have one of these jobs, which one would you take? A zookeeper, a childminder, an astronaut, or a tarot card reader?
I think we're all thinking the same thing.
What
What's
is
a
the second
child?
one?
Yeah.
I'm assuming that's like a babysitter.
Repeat them again.
Zookeeper. I'll say babysitter instead.
Just say
Zookeeper,
alright.
babysitter, astronaut, or tarot card reader.
What's the fourth one?
Tarot card reader.
It's a tarot card.
Tarot
It's pretty
card.
much like you lay down like 4 cards in front of you.
It's
and
like
then
a Ouija board
Yeah,
kind of.
similar.
Oh,
Over and
a
over
fortune
again.
teller?
Yeah, pretty much a
Yeah,
fortune teller.
basically
A fortune teller? Okay.
Except a lot more random.
Well, God,
Dude, that shit's
I don't like-
scary. Like,
Yeah.
I guess
No.
I did that the other day, and it was like completely accurate.
Well, I
Which
think I'm gonna go for
It's
the.
crazy because I don't believe in that shit at all. So,
Yeah,
like,
that's some spooky gooky guss.
I'm gonna go with 1.
Yeah, like,
Zookeeper?
I don't want to be an astronaut. That's kind of dangerous. I don't want to be. Plus, that's a lot of work too. And then
Absolutely.
you're far away for a long time, and you have to be in shape. I think, or at least some level of shape.
yeah, you have to be in pretty good shape. so
yeah,
you don't
I don't-
die when you get shot up there.
Yeah,
All right.
I don't want to be babysitter. That's a shitty job. I don't want to deal with little kids. I'm terrible with kids. And I don't really want to be a fortune teller. I don't know what they get paid, but it seems like kind of a sham to me.
Yeah, zookeeper seems fair.
I've never really met a fortune teller, so I could be wrong about that. It might be a great gig.
Fortune tellers,
That
they
defaults me to the zoo.
get a decent amount of money because people believe in the shit that they do.
Absolutely.
Pay a lot for it, yeah.
Yeah.
But how many people are there?
Enough.
There's not. Yeah, there's not many fortune tellers.
It's a very small market.
So
I have to know.
Ideally, if I had to pick one of them, I'd probably go with the fortune teller. Like,
Stupid shit.
if you're assuming that you're successful at all of them and all that shit, I would go fortune teller because that shit's
Crazy.
How hard could it be?
How hard is it to lie?
How hard is it to put cards on the table and then be
You'd be
like,
convincing.
well,
Well, yeah. I mean, I could be like, well, someday
you'll die
Something positive will happen to you in
Yeah.
the near
in the near future.
in the near
How
future,
could you be wrong with that?
No
your
refunds.
recent struggles have been
Worth it.
will be lifted from you. You will find a solution not where you expect. To
Yeah.
find them.
Give them like a really
Just
vague
read off some
fortune
cookie
answer,
some fortune
and they'll
cookie things.
and they'll like morph it into something
You'll
that's happening.
find
and it's a
answers to
stretch.
your recent problems somewhere else, somewhere you don't expect.
How about you, Parkster? Babysitter? I know you like kids.
Kids, reword, phrasing. Kids like me.
Rephrasing
Who
kids.
doesn't?
When you say, you Parker, you love kids. Like, I mean, I get along with them. They seem to find me.
I know you
They find me funny, so I mean, I get paid a lot. I mean, and I can deal with kids.
I
They're
don't
not
think
bad.
you get paid by how much they.
Yeah,
find you.
babysitters aren't paid like that's not like a full.
Here's
Well,
a-
if you're like a daycare,
I'd do a daycare. Yeah,
Or nanny.
that could be a good gig.
yeah, I could do daycare.
You
Easy.
need what, like 2 people tops?
Here's the thing.
I mean, I was practically a daycare. when I was
Astronaut?
working at the-
I'm gonna die probably.
That wasn't that bad, actually.
Zookeeper is
Die.
basically
What a
Ass
pessimistic
kids.
astronaut.
zookeeper. Pretty much like same thing as a babysitter except with animals. Tarot card reader. I don't.
Yeah.
This is lame.
Seems like. I don't know.
Yeah. All right. If we don't have any more questions in the chat, I will wrap us up.
We don't have any more.
All right. That is the show
We
today.
do have 2 zookeepers and a nanny.
That's true. That's the show today, everyone.
Hey,
Fortune teller.
Tyler, why don't you tell us the future of this stream as of the rest of this video?
Hold up, guys. Hold up. I need to get out my equipment.
Pick up the Triforce.
Oh no, I know.
I didn't think we would go that far with it.
I didn't think it was necessary to go that far.
We're just kidding. I was hoping for a quick joke.
I was about to just roll this out. He wants to. Oh, what is he?
He's coming back.
What's he doing?
He's setting up for this one.
I don't know.
Alright,
I'm hyped now.
Give it to him. Now we can't end.
Now we gotta wait now.
Okay. I'm gonna have to move this back so you can see it a bit.
Oh
Now
my
be careful.
gosh.
Everyone,
Be
turn
careful
off
with
your
these
light.
Mystical magics.
Oh, is that? What is that?
That's an obelisk or whatever.
Oh,
Hold up, boys.
for those at home, it's a pyramid.
It's funny. You guys only see me in there?
Yeah. You see
Make
Evan?
sure-
That's hilarious. Oh my gosh.
So
Oh my gosh.
now I'm going to need Everybody-
My magic is swimming.
to put 1 drop of this peppermint into your hands.
Okay, give
How?
them to
We
me.
don't have any.
Give them to me.
Yeah,
Here
wait,
you go,
wait.
Parker. No, wait. Here
Oh,
you go,
thank you.
Parker.
What do I do with it?
Over here.
Oh, thanks for getting me
Okay.
wet.
Oh,
Evan,
so what?
I think you're over here.
Yeah, that's right. That's what
Yeah,
close
we
enough.
will.
Ah, it's getting in my hair.
Now, mix it together. Now, everybody clasp hands
Yeah.
and close your
Okay.
eyes.
What did he say?
Okay,
Tyler?
yeah, clasp hands with
Clasp
everyone.
hands and close your eyes.
Oh,
Okay.
clasp hands.
There we go. Okay, my eyes are closed.
Okay, everybody keep your eyes closed.
Oh, eyes closed.
This is stupid.
Okay, now you guys can open your eyes now. The power has all come together.
Oh, come on.
If you now look into this mysterious
I
obelisk,
see Evan. I'm looking.
now some of the weak may not be able to actually see the future, but I have practiced dearly into this. I have meditated with many spirits before. The future of this channel, it is looking bright,
Oh.
but not in the way that some may expect.
Oh.
with your future,
Yeah. Oh,
with
I'm
much
stressed out. Keep going.
dedication put in, this could become a phenomenal way for you to succeed at what you have been wanting to succeed.
That's insane. That's actually crazy. How did you know that? This man's a
I can
genius.
see the spirits speak with me.
This is insane.
Well, we call him
It's
Tyler.
something that has taken a lot of our. Holy shit! This peppermint is so intense.
All right. Yeah, okay. Thank you everyone so much for joining us today. This has been King Pasta Ducks and Stuff. Please leave comments on our YouTube channel. You can find us at King Pasta Ducks and Stuff on YouTube. Leave your comment and leave us some questions because we're gonna answer those questions. If you have some Steam games that you'd like to say, do that. You can also find us on Twitter and Instagram. We are here every Friday at 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. And we will see you next week. Everyone, quack quack.